One town, two strangers, and a whole lot of secrets. Guys, today we're reading the feature Sawyer by Austin Hart here on the Unproduced Table Read, so don't move a muscle.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Ooh, I love the Stranger Things theme so much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Unproduced Table Read here on the Popcorn Talk Network. For those who are just tuning in, welcome. For those who haven't seen the show before, that's the same thing. Welcome. And for those who are returning, we're so glad you're back. This is a show where we read Hollywood's hottest unproduced pilots and scripts. And today we're reading our first feature script here on the show, which I'm really excited about. It's a moody coming-of-age sci-fi drama called Sawyer, hence the song selection, because it kind of has shades of Stranger Things for those of you who saw Netflix's biggest show of the year. Guys, my name is Jeff Graham. I'm so glad you're here. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can do so at Jeffrey C. Graham. And you can find me on Instagram at Jeffrey Crane Graham. I'd love now for my cast to introduce themselves, where you can follow them, and who they'll be playing today in our read.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Guy, and I'll be reading Sawyer. Awesome, super excited about it. And you guys can find me at Andrew Guy on Twitter, and every Wednesday here on the Popcorn Talk Network and on Action Movie Anatomy at 12:30.
Hey, I'm Haley O'Connor. I'm on Twitter at Haley O'Connor, and today I am reading Runaway Girl and Allison, and you can find me here on Popcorn Talk doing Sci-Fi Weekly every Sunday.
I am Lex Michael. I am all over social media at the Lex Michael, and I'm reading a bunch of parts. I'm Worker 1, Dr. Vincent, Mr. Gresham, Officer Don, Team Leader, a bunch of scouts, Pilot, Hitchhiker, Christopher, and Suit 2.
It was very mean to Lex.
Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Timothy Michael. You can reach me on all social media platforms at I am Timothy Mike, and I am reading Richie, Opsman, Store Clerk, Guard, Spotter, and Suit 1.
What's up, guys? I'm Roxy Stryer. You can find me at Roxy Stryer, and I will be reading for Karen, both waitresses, Officer Tom, and Professor.
Yeah, so we're going to dive right in, but before we do, I want to introduce my writer. He will be chatting with us remotely after we finish the read. He's actually in Indiana right now, which feels fitting for the scenery of the script. But Austin Hart, who wrote this script, is an excellent writer, a newer writer, but actually had 2 features highlighted by the Academy this year in the Nickel competition, which is kind of unprecedented, so it's really exciting for us to be reading his work. As I mentioned, today's feature is a drama called Sawyer. It's kind of a cool, moody sci-fi piece, kind of a coming-of-age story, and it kind of does have shades of, I think, a lot of the great coming-of-age sci-fi dramas from the 80s. So I'm really excited to dive in, but I don't want to say much more because I want all the surprises.
Don't give it away.
I know. So I think with that, we should dive right in. Guys, this is Sawyer by Austin Hart. Exterior country road night. Headlights wind through a black forest below. Interior SUV night. A pissed-off teen, a runaway, 16, cruises to her staticky radio, a hastily packed duffel bag sitting shotgun. She checks her phone. No bars. But she doesn't give a shit. Her eyes are going back to the road. Suddenly, a flashing light ahead. A country truck and a construction sign blinking. Road closed. Exterior closed road, night. As the SUV slows, 2 workers caught slacking jump from their seats on the truck bed. They meet the kid at her window.
Sorry, ma'am. Road's closed.
Yeah, I'm literate. It's fine, I'll take the shoulder.
She starts to roll up the window, but the worker puts a heavy glove on it.
Too dangerous, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I've got 4-wheel drive, and I'm low on gas, so move.
No gas this way, ma'am. Now, I suggest you turn around and head back to the nearest town.
Really? And where is that exactly? Since I've been on this route for 2 hours, and I haven't seen so much as a goddamn side road.
Then I suggest you go back to the nearest town and buy a map.
Sorry, left my map back in the 1800s. Brought a phone instead. Now, that road looks fine.
The worker leans in uncomfortably close, his breath washing over the teen's scrunched face.
Ma'am, if you don't turn this vehicle around, you're going to jail tonight. Is that clear?
A beat. The girl's eyes burning into Builder Joe. She finally throws it in reverse. Defeated, but the SUV only makes it a few yards before hitting the brakes. Close on her Florida license plate and yacht club ornament dangling from the hitch. Psych, the SUV heaves forward, swerving to the shoulder. Hey! Worker 1 calmly goes back to his truck, grabbing a walkie.
Sorry, Perch 3, we have a breach, Northeast Service Road.
Interior SUV night. The SUV emerges from the forest into a sea of early season crops, an enchanting glow showering the vehicle from a 76 gas station sign towering ahead.
Lying son of a bitch.
Pew, pew, pew! Her words cut short, the windshield fractured as bullet wounds open the girl's chest. She gasps. Exterior Farmtown Road night. The SUV swerves into a drainage ditch, and with the nauseating crunch, it's as dead as its driver. Its hitch ornament continues swinging gently, the 76 sign shining just out of reach ahead. Interior farmhouse, kitchen, morning. The quintessential Midwestern farm home, circa 1985. A young man raises from the table, Sawyer, 18. He radiates a gentleness and chivalry, but don't be fooled. He'd clean your clock if you needed learning. A woman remains at the table, Karen. Her frame is thin but strong with the attitude to match. Both the results of 5 decades of farm life. Sawyer inhales his last piece of toast.
Your medicine?
She grabs a syringe and vial from the fridge, filling the needle with a colorless liquid. Sawyer sits back down and lifts the back of his shirt, wincing as Karen carefully sticks the needle right into his lower spine. It looks awful.
All done.
Sawyer gives her a peck on the head, strolling for the door. Exterior farmhouse morning. Sawyer jogs down the porch steps, his house nestled among acres of bean fields dotted with giant oaks. It's a sickeningly perfect scene. He heads for an old barn, a tall silo sung at its side. A series of shots shows Sawyer begin his daily chores, cleaning up loose straw in the barn, organizing tools, filling his cow's trough.
Morning, Susie.
Tossing feed to hungry chickens, stacking hay bales. Basically a lot of morning of hot, dirty drudgery. Exterior barn day. Sawyer is busy hammering a bent metal rod outside the barn, God knows what for. Karen exits the house, a green apron over her flowered dress.
I'm headed to work.
Love you.
Mm-hmm. You need to start sharpening the combine shears, understand?
On the list.
Karen nods and gets in her station wagon and takes off. Interior barn day. A huge harvesting combine sits in the barn, Sawyer busy under its raised crops divider removing a shear blade. He slides out, taking the shear to the grinder. He begins sharpening the blade, sparks flying all over. Exterior barn day. Sawyer exits the barn, checking the shear's razor edge when a metal screech comes from above. He looks up to find a loose piece of silo roofing blowing in the breeze 40 feet up. He seems to consider doing something about it until beep beep, beep beep. His wristwatch chimes repeatedly. He turns it off. Noon sharp. Interior old Ford pickup day. Sawyer drives toward Main Street, a short strip of buildings in what makes up the entirety of his microscopic town. Only the bare necessities here. Most of the business is feeling lifeless except for a few shadows moving inside. But finally some hope. A single figure walking ahead. An old man, Mr. Gresham, late 60s, has the slight hunch, but he's not helpless. Actually, quite youthful for his age. He gives Sawyer a wave and Sawyer returns it as he drives past. The Ford eventually coming to a gentle stop at a red light. Sawyer looks both ways, not a car on the road, not a soul anywhere. But still he waits, and the light finally changes. Exterior military road entrance day. As a 76 station looms in the distance, Sawyer passes an intersecting dirt road. Half a mile down, a checkpoint booth. It's the entrance to what appears to be a small military airfield, but there's absolutely zero activity around it. Exterior 76 station day. Sawyer's Ford pulls up into the outdated gas station and he hops out, noticing a vehicle inside the service garage. A familiar SUV, its hood raised and the engine removed, other parts scattered around the garage floor. There's no license plate, but a yacht club ornament hangs from its hitch. Interior 76 station day. An old-fashioned bell dings as Sawyer enters. The attendant, Richie, 45, awaits. Had he ever had kids, he would have been a great dad. Friendly but stern and full of country wisdom.
There he is.
Hey, Rich.
Sawyer... I love your enthusiasm. Sawyer beelines it for the drink coolers in the back.
Having fun in the sun?
Same as every day. I've been sharpening shears all morning.
Richie gives an understanding chuckle. Sawyer grabs a bottle of chocolate milk, taking a giant swig with instant relief. It's the best part of his day. His vice. He checks out the magazine rack. Country Livin', Home Sweet Home, Farmer's Monthly, Crops. All mind-numbingly boring. As Sawyer browses, every ounce of Richie's attention is focused on him. Not suspicious, but studious and borderline creepy.
I saw the new truck in the garage. Where'd you get it?
His mouth twitches.
Oh, yeah, got it at an auction upstate.
A beat. Sawyer looks to him, possibly unconvinced. Then...
That's good.
Sawyer makes it to the counter and Richie rings him up.
Want to shoot some pool tonight?
I would, but I gotta study.
Come now, Saul. When are you going to stop wasting your time with that crap?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's wasting my time.
Listen, I have a saying for you, Sawyer. Said by a really smart guy one time. It goes something like, the very definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over but expecting a different result.
Sawyer looks hurt.
Now, I only tell you that because I care about you. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Richie can tell Sawyer's hurt, but wants to cheer him up.
Hey, I was thinking, how about we go fishing again sometime? You and me. I heard the sauger are really biting.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, we'll do that.
Glad to hear it. Now, I'll see you tomorrow.
Sawyer fakes a grin as he heads out, Richie's eyes staying trained on him. Exterior farmhouse day. Sawyer exits his truck, tossing the glass milk bottle into his truck bed. It clinks among 30 fellow empty bottles. Exterior barn day. Sawyer continues his work on the combine, the sun low in the sky. He soon spots a mail truck pulling up, quickly removing his gloves. Interior farmhouse kitchen night. Karen is busy preparing dinner, glancing out the window to find Sawyer raiding the mailbox. Sawyer finds a letter he's been waiting for, ripping it open with a grin. But as he reads, that grin slowly disappears. Karen watches her son, her gaze unpleasant, unsympathetic. Interior farmhouse kitchen night later. The dinner table is quiet, Sawyer keeping his eyes on the food. Karen watches him.
Richie said he keeps asking when you're going to go fishing again.
Yeah,
He's a good man, Sawyer.
I know. I'll go. It's just
It's just what?
I just wish I knew people my age, you know? Like friends.
It's a surprisingly sad moment as Sawyer sits quietly picking at his carrots.
Well, when you grow up in a town this small, there aren't a lot of options. Anyway, no use in whining about it.
I wasn't whining.
What you need is to get out more. Anything but staying up there studying all the time.
Sawyer feels shamed and goes back to his plate.
I just want to go to university.
Is that what this is about? Another rejection letter?
Sawyer looks up and didn't realize she knew.
Sawyer, we've been over this.
I was just sure I'd aced it this time. I know I did.
Sawyer, there comes a time when it's just better to let go of your dreams.
She reaches for his hand with a warm smile.
Now, you can keep studying if that's what you enjoy, but you can't get your hopes up. Some young men are just meant to keep our country going farming the land. I mean, think about all the people who depend on you. You're proud of that, aren't you? I know I am, and I know your father would be too.
I know.
Karen goes back to her food.
Besides, you have to remember, Sawyer, not everyone was born with the right tools for college.
Damn. Sawyer just stares for a moment, hurt by the backhanded comment. Interior Sawyer's room night. Like his life, Sawyer's room is plain and simple. He sits on the floor with a cardboard box overlooking his rejection letter. He tosses it in the box, and we see it's full of 24 other kindly worded fuck yous. He pushes the box of defeat under his bed, taking a look outside. On the road below, a figure wobbles in the twilight. It's Mr. Gresham, peacefully going about his way. He glances up. Exterior country road night, same. Gresham sees Sawyer in the window and waves. Sawyer returns it, then disappears behind the curtains. Gresham looks back ahead, his gentle gaze turning to one of the oddly serious conversation. He then straightens up, no more hunching over for this old man. He finally continues along his way, scanning Sawyer's property as he goes. Interior Sawyer's room night. Sawyer makes his way to his closet, passing his desk, and holy shit, it's covered in books and papers. A bulletin board above is plastered with dozens of complicated diagrams, charts, and equations. This is far from the work of a simpleton. Closet continuous. The walk-in closet offers even more intrigue. Lined floor to ceiling with thick textbooks. PhD level material. Sawyer runs his fingers along a section, various topics like advanced calc, quantum physics, and inorganic chemistry. He pulls one out, cut to black. Dream sequence. We sit in total darkness, complete silence. Finally, a few pings and sounds of movement fade in, all muffled, as if submerged in water. Then a whirlwind of throat-clicking sounds like a mysterious animalistic communication, cut short by a powerful boom, a bright flash, the light coming from behind like an organic membrane. Veins and organs open on the other side, possibly a womb? Cut to interior Sawyer's room, dawn. Sawyer wakes with a start, face drenched in sweat, still sitting at his desk. He catches his breath looking to his window, the hint of dawn outside. Interior barn, dawn. Sawyer grinds another shear, staring at the glowing spray of sparks. He slowly becomes lost in them, almost hypnotized. Then, the chaotic sparks slowly take a more ordered direction, bending slightly, an unnatural phenomenon. Sawyer's eyes are half-focused, half-entranced. His head tilts slightly and more in the same direction. The sparks bend more. He's influencing them. Sawyer's eyes tell us he's just as confused as we are. He turns off the grinder. Exterior barn, dawn. Sawyer stares at the shear as he exits the barn, mind a million miles away. He looks up to find Karen waiting for him, vibe serious. Did she see what just happened?
Come inside, Sawyer.
Interior farmhouse kitchen, sunrise. The sun rises outside as Karen prepares Sawyer's needle.
You're up early. You know, I don't like you working before you take your medication.
I know.
Her intuition is busy.
Was it the dream again?
Sawyer looks down, Karen's eyes scrutinizing as she disinfects his spine.
Was it the same?
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know it's a dream. I do. But I swear whatever's happening, I can't explain it, but it's It's real.
Karen slams in the needle.
Dang, Mom.
Sorry, hon.
She tosses the needle.
Okay, I'm going to work.
A little early.
We need to restock all the produce.
Sawyer stares. Karen's tone is off. Her gaze is off. Everything is off.
Go on. You can get back to work.
She grabs her bag and walks out the door, Sawyer left nursing his back. Series of shots. Sawyer starts his same monotonous routine. The barn, the cow, the chickens, the hay. Exterior barn day. As Sawyer carries off yet another hay bale for the barn, crash. A chunk of silo roofing slams into the ground next to him. Sawyer about jumping out of his skin. He looks up, more siding peeling from the damaged area. Exterior roof silo day, minutes later. Sawyer's climbing the silo ladder, tools in hand. He reaches the top, looking down, a dizzying view of the ground 40 feet below. He semi-carefully makes his way along the rounded roof ledge. No scaffolding, no safety harness, no anything. Frankly, it's fucking moronic. He reaches the damage, nearly slips, but keeps working. There's no fear in Sawyer's face as he begins peeling off the siding, the breeze whipping at him as he leans over. But as he removes the final sheet, the unthinkable happens. He falls, plummeting from a height no man could survive, slamming into the ground, his head first, neck bent, snap. Cut to interior storage unit, day. In the dark, close on a pair of eyes shooting open, the irises glowing green ever so slightly, a bioluminescence. The figure sits up, features almost impossible to make out in the dark, but they're petite, feminine. She seems to be in a room, or more like a 10 by 10 metal box with the floor of concrete. The eyes stay locked straight ahead, sensing something, their glow slowly fading. Exterior storage unit day. An orange metal garage door opens. It begins shaking, finally screeching open. A girl, 16, stands in the entrance. A confident but emotionless vibe to her. She wears nothing but cotton shorts and a loose tank top, something worn only to bed. She walks from her box onto gravel, the jagged rocks having no effect on her completely bare feet. We realize she's standing in the aisle of a storage unit lot. Exterior second storage unit day, minutes later. A gruff man unloads a final box from his pickup, taking it into the storage unit. He turns. The girl stands in the unit entrance, and she's fucking creepy.
Hi?
The girl pulls down the door.
Hey!
The girl snaps the metal handle off with inhuman strength. The girl pounding the door, yelling as the girl hops in his truck and takes off. Zooming out the lot, the facility on the outskirts of a quaint, bustling town. Exterior barn day. Back to Sawyer, who lies motionless, his watch beeping. He finally stirs, getting to his feet and brushing off. A little dazed, but completely unharmed. He turns off his watch, cracking his neck and finding his bearings. He looks around. POV. The world has a fuzz to it. Not out of focus, but like everything he sees is made up of tiny individual units. Pixelated almost. But it all eventually clears to normal. Slowly, Sawyer realizes what just happened. He inspects himself, then the distance to the roof. It's impossible. He's alive. Completely at a loss. Interior farmhouse kitchen day. Sawyer takes ice trays from the freezer, most of them empty. He sighs and begins filling them in his sink. Exterior farmhouse day. Sawyer walks from the house as Karen's station wagon comes flying into the drive. She hurriedly exits, grocery apron still on. She seems worried, but trying to stay composed.
Where are you going?
Why are you home? Is everything all right?
Oh, yes. Richie called work. He said he hadn't seen you, was just a little worried is all.
I'm not a toddler, Mom.
Sawyer, I need you to tell me why you didn't show up.
A beat. Sawyer is befuddled. He stops, a look of near suspicion.
I just got caught up with the combine.
He heads for the truck, Karen taking a step towards him, wanting to say more, but she doesn't. Interior old Ford pickup day. Sawyer drives through town. Point of view. The strange focus returns as if everything is made of grains of colored sand blowing in the wind. It's trippy and incredibly distracting. Sawyer screeches to a halt, that damn red light again. Not another soul in sight, but still he waits. Interior 76 station day. The bell dings as Sawyer enters.
Well, look who stood me up for our 12:10 chat. First time in what? Forever?
Yeah, I had a fall.
Oh yeah? What kind of fall?
From my silo.
A beat. Richie's grin falters.
Your silo?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Sawyer shrugs, checking to the back. He opens a bottle of chocolate milk and chugs. Again, every ounce of Richie's attention is on Sawyer. His eyes are worried this time. Sawyer brings a bag of ice to the counter. Richie looks at him, still in a state of disbelief.
You know what? Hold on, I have something for you.
He runs to the back office. Sawyer glances over the counter and an open magazine behind it. A spread on war in the Middle East? Sawyer studies it with damn near amazement. Richie exits the office, a look of horror as he sees Sawyer. He rushes over, quickly pushing the magazine aside.
What was that?
What was what?
That magazine. I've never seen one like that. There's a war?
No, it's just a book my sister lent me. Don't worry about it.
But it had last week's date on it.
Oh, of course not, Saul. It's just fiction. It's nothing. And it's boring. Forget it. Forget you even saw it. Hey, why don't we take a break today? But let's get some lunch.
No, I'm fine. You think I could borrow that?
Maybe hike the river trail?
I said I'm okay, Rich.
I know. Let's go fishing.
I don't want to fish, goddammit. I've said it 1,000 times.
A beat. Richie's smile fades. Sawyer seems caught off even by himself.
Sorry, Rich. I didn't mean it's just my head. It hurts.
Hey, don't worry about it, buddy. That's why I got you this.
He hands him a bottle of pills, glancing out the front door, like he's doing a drug deal.
What is it?
It's called aspirin. It's for pain, like headaches.
Sawyer inspects the bottle. This is new to him. He pockets it.
Maybe you should go lay down. Take it easy.
Yeah. I think I better.
Sawyer heads out. Richie swallows hard as he watches after, then grabs a phone. Interior farmhouse kitchen evening. Karen finishes cleaning the dinner table, glancing at Sawyer, who sits silently, lost in his thoughts. She dumps food scraps into the disposal.
Why didn't you tell me you injured yourself today?
A short beat. She turns.
Richie called.
Why are you two talking about me so much?
Because we care. Maybe we wouldn't have to if you didn't do such foolish things like today. You're going to Dr. Vincent early this week, first thing tomorrow.
Okay.
Why would you do something so unsafe?
I'm sorry, it's just
I mean, it was just so stupid of you. Going up there like that, plain idiotic.
Okay.
He takes out the bottle of aspirin, and Karen's eyes go wide. She snatches the bottle.
And where'd you get this?
Richie, he said it would help.
That moron. Who knows if this would react with your medicine badly? It's just not part of protocol.
She dumps it down the drain. The disposal roars to life.
Damn it, Sawyer, have you lost it today? What's wrong with you?
Enough.
I mean, I know your brain isn't, it's your strong suit, but Jesus, Sawyer.
Will you stop saying stuff like that?
A beat. Karen can't believe it.
All you ever do is put me down.
Karen's demeanor changes, putting on an act, more manipulative than sincere.
Hon, what's wrong?
What's wrong?
Sawyer hurls his chair from underneath. Karen's eyes narrow. Not scared, ready.
What's wrong is I don't want to be here anymore. What's wrong is I want to go out in the world. I want to help people and do things. I want to go to college. I want to learn.
Hon, maybe you should focus on farming. The world's told you you're not good enough for school.
No, that's what I'm telling you. I'm done with this fucking farm. I'm done with you.
Sawyer claws his hair, freaking himself out. A panic attack seems imminent.
Sawyer, just breathe. Calm yourself with deep breathing intervals. You're scaring me.
Don't you get it? It's like I'm trapped here.
Sawyer takes a step towards her. Unseen to him, Karen grips a kitchen knife behind her back. She swirls it to get an attack grip, like a trained beret.
I have to get out. I have to get out of this house. I have to get out of this town.
He bolts for the door. Exterior farmhouse sunset. The red sun lights up Sawyer's face as he bursts from the house. Karen's hot on the trail.
Sawyer, get back in here!
Sawyer doesn't give two shits, and he's soon peeling out of the drive. Interior girl's stolen truck. Sunset, same. The girl drives through a forest, slowly bringing the truck to a stop, studying the thick trees beyond the road shoulder, sunbeams piercing them. She steps out onto the asphalt, leaving the truck idling in the middle of the road as she walks into the woods. Exterior, interior town, old Ford pickup, sunset. Sawyer flies through the town, past the army base, past the gas station. He reaches the town outskirts, prairie fields in every direction, snow-capped Rockies ahead. He has no destination, he's just trying to get the hell away. He sees a horse galloping off in the fields, his eyes suddenly widen. Point of view, a new vision development. As the horse runs, a blur comes out to its front, like a moving object through a long exposure camera. Except it's not an after image, it's a before image. This is the animal's predestination. Roadside. Close on an infrared motion sensor in the roadside grass as the truck cuts through its invisible laser. A small red light suddenly appearing on Sawyer's dash. Sawyer's truck instantly shutting off. Not like it's breaking down, but literally like every moving part is turned off. It rolls to a stop.
No!
Exterior prairie road continuous. Sawyer exits his truck surrounded by a setting of peace and solitude. But he couldn't be more the opposite. He goes to the front of the truck, looking to the mountains, looking to the prairies. Point of view. The grainy focus returns, the before image of leaves blowing and grass. It's insane. He grabs his head, hyperventilating, sweating. The world is overwhelming, frustration growing, anger building until he yells at the top of his lungs, his windshield slowly cracking until, boom! His truck windows explode outwards. Exterior woods sunset same. The girl's eyes shoot up, locked on the trees ahead. The only sound is that of chirping crickets. Then the slightest look of content as she leisurely continues. Exterior Prairie Road sunset. Sawyer stares wide-eyed at the demolished window, catching his breath, the sun disappearing behind the mountains as he tries to comprehend what the hell just happened. Cut to interior doctor's office, MRI room day. Sawyer lies in a humming, claustrophobic MRI machine, the entire room and its equipment much too advanced for a small-town doctor's office. Interior same office, exam room day. Sawyer sits alone on the exam table, staring at the glass jar of tongue dispensers, and we've soon seen why. Point of view again. The grainy vision is back, and the jar looks to be made of molten glass. Sawyer's concentration is interrupted by voices from the hallway. He cracks the door open, finding Karen and a doctor talking softly in an office down the hall.
I just don't understand what's causing this behavior.
It seems the fall initiated a kind of survival response. Sawyer's metabolism and cellular regeneration are in overdrive. They're overpowering the tonic.
The doctor spots Sawyer. Karen notices too, closing the office door. Sawyer goes back to the table. Interior doctor's office, study day same. The kind-hearted doctor, Dr. Vincent, in his 50s, seems to be the subordinate in the room.
Look, I can give him more medication, and maybe that'll help settle him, but no matter how much you put in that kid, he still needs stimulation, mental and social. I don't have to tell you the risks of leaving someone as intelligent as him to mindless monotony.
Then figure something out. Health concerns are your job. Get him more textbooks if you have to.
There are no more textbooks.
Karen glares frustrated. Interior doctor's office, exam room day. Sawyer is staring at the jar again like it's the most interesting thing on earth. He finally reaches out, and his freaking hand goes right through the glass. He pulls back, spooked. He reaches out again, hand hovering over the top with some invisible force. The jar warps, like shaping hot glass. And then Dr. Vincent walks in. Crash! The jar shatters. Dispensers scattering, most of them splintered and broken.
Sorry, didn't mean to scare you.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. I'll have the nurse sweep it up later.
The doctor saw what really happened, and he's not letting on.
So, your mother says you had a bit of an outburst. Smashed out the windows in your truck.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get your medication sorted and have you evened out in no time.
He takes a syringe from the white coat pocket.
Doctor, I really don't want this.
A beat as the doctor stops, meeting Sawyer's gaze. Cut to exterior wooded meadow day. A military ops man crouches over a motion sensor in the grass, an assault rifle slung on his shoulder. He surveys his surroundings, a peaceful meadow clearing spotted with the trees. An army jeep parked nearby.
Base, it's Perch 7. I've got nothing out here. Must have been an animal.
With a murmured response from his radio headset, the soldier turns to his jeep. The girl, standing in front of it, looking all too innocent. The soldier caught completely off guard. He grips the gun a little tighter.
Miss, what are you doing out here?
From behind the girl, we see the man's eyes suddenly go wide, gun raising. Cut to, wide on the clearing. Pow! A single shot echoes, followed by an instantly silent scream. Back to the girl walking through the clearing, her bare feet leaving what seemed to be bloody footprints as they pressed down the tall, dry grass. Back to the doctor's office, exam room day. Dr. Vincent eyes Sawyer.
And why don't you want your medication?
Sawyer looks toward the door, lowering his voice.
Dr. Vincent, can I confide something in you?
Of course, Sawyer.
I think it's holding me back.
Listen, Sawyer.
He pauses, looking like he's about to divulge some sort of important truth.
Your body...
Karen suddenly cracks the door.
I'll be right outside, Sawyer. Let me know when you're all done.
Her eyes burn into the doctor as she slips back out. Dr. Vincent's demeanor reluctantly changes.
Sawyer, I've known you since you were born. I delivered you the night of your parents' crash, and I've been giving you your weekly MRIs now for 18 years. I care about you, Saw. You believe that, don't you?
Yeah.
And I just want what's best for you. And right now, that's your medication. Okay?
Sawyer nods, disappointed. Vincent finally injects him, Sawyer fixing his shirt as he moves for the door.
Sawyer?
Sawyer turns, hopeful.
No more falls, okay?
Sawyer's hope fades, but he nods, forcing a smile. Sawyer enters with a ding. There he is, back on... Oh, sorry.
There he is, back on schedule.
Hey, Richie.
Sawyer heads to the freezer for his fix.
Hey, chocolate milk's on me today. In fact, take 2, 1 for the road.
You sure about that?
Of course I am.
Richie raises a soda can to Sawyer.
Hey, to good health, huh?
Sawyer lets a grin slip, raises the bottle, but as he does this and takes a chug, Richie merely watches him. Exterior field across the street, day, same. Juvenile crop plants blow in the breeze. The gas station across the road. A pair of muddy legs walk into frame. Interior 76 station, day. Sawyer looks at the usual magazine covers in the back, this time actually taking one out.
I heard what happened to your truck. Why don't you let me order you some new windows?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that, Rich. How long they take to ship?
Up front, the bell dings, but as Richie looks up, his jaw suddenly slacks in mild shock from whatever he's looking at. In the back,
You hear me, Richie? Richie!
Sawyer rounds a rack of Twinkies and he sees it. The girl. Sawyer's heart skips a beat. An entire verse, actually. His face, a blend of someone beholding a mythical creature and love at first sight.
Hi.
Hello.
The girl's voice is eerily calm, someone who hasn't had a care in the world. A vibe crashing hard with the anxiety that seems to be pulsating from Richie. Under the counter, Richie's finger presses a button, a kind of silent alarm. Then his hand goes to a hidden shotgun. The girl finally makes eye contact with Richie, then looks to the counter as if she's looking through the counter. She looks back to Richie, a difficult face to read, but somehow intimidating, and definitely unafraid.
Is that your truck outside?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Could you give me a ride?
Sure. I mean, yeah, of course.
Sawyer slowly follows her out, like a rat to the Pied Piper.
Later, Rich.
Off Richie. Exterior 76 station continuous. As Sawyer and the girl exit, an army of Humvee pulls up. Tries chirping as two men get out, two more remaining in the truck. Sawyer gives a friendly nod to the pair, but they don't seem interested in him. They're staring at the girl. The girl gazing back with a slyness in her eyes, walking on the other side of Sawyer as if purposely putting Sawyer between them. The men head into the station. Cut to interior old Ford pickup day. Sawyer and the strange girl ride in silence, the girl simply watching the scenery out her window, Sawyer too nervous to talk, and then finally...
So, I don't think I've ever seen you around town.
I'm not from here.
Oh. Well, how'd you get here then?
I walked.
Sawyer eyes her, the girl's gaze still out the window, carefree.
Well, where are you walking to?
Here?
What? Nobody comes here. Heck, nobody even comes through here.
I am. I'm meeting friends.
Oh, really? Who is it? I'm sure I know him.
They're meeting me here.
Oh. Gotcha.
Another awkward silence.
So where is it that I'm taking you?
Where do you live?
Sawyer is a little taken aback.
Oh, well, I live on the edge of town.
That'll do. Drive to your house.
Okay. Suppose if you're going in that direction, it'll save you a couple miles of walking. My name's Sawyer, by the way. My friends call me Saw, but not that you have to call me that. I mean, you can call me what you want.
The girl finally looks up at him, her eyes looking him up and down, sizing him up. But Sawyer doesn't notice her gaze.
So, what's your name?
You can call me Allison if you'd like.
Interior old Ford pickup day, minutes later. Sawyer and Allison near Main Street, and as Sawyer approaches the stoplight, we notice a sight yet to be seen. The town is bustling. At least 24 people here and there. Shop owners sweeping storefronts and adjusting displays, construction workers checking a crumbling sidewalk, a man watering plants, smiling as two shoppers with bags pass by.
Well, I'll be. I don't think I've ever seen the town this crowded in my 18 years.
A few townspeople offer Sawyer courteous smiles, and oddly enough, we begin to realize that the vast majority of these people are men. Army draft-aged men. Sawyer stops at the light. He seems to be enjoying the unexpected liveliness.
Must be something I don't know about.
Allison spots two cops, officers Tom and Don, standing by their squad car. They wear the shirts of officers but the pants and boots of a Navy SEAL, both with freaking assault rifles over their shoulders, and both staring at Allison.
Your law enforcement carry big guns for a small town.
Sawyer looks to them.
Oh, yeah, Tom and Don. Nice guys, those two.
As the light turns green, Sawyer continues down the street. Unbeknownst to him, every single resident chances a glance as the truck goes by. And as camera passes, one of the construction workers down on his knees, we catch a glimpse of a gun holstered under his reflective vest. Sawyer approaches a familiar figure, Mr. Gresham, walking with hands folded behind his back. Sawyer waves.
Friend of yours?
Mr. Gresham. He's a friend of my mom's. His wife died a while back, so he just spends most of his days walking. You know, just all over.
Allison seems to take much interest in him.
So he sort of keeps watch.
Yeah, sure, I suppose you could say that.
Allison's eyes meet with Mr. Gresham, and the two stare at each other down. It's an uncomfortable moment. And with that, the town is gone, the truck heading out into the fields. Interior old Ford pickup day, minutes later. As Sawyer approaches the farm, he looks in the rearview mirror, the same military Humvee following him at a distance.
You know, I can count the times I've seen those guys out of base on one hand. And I've seen them twice in one day. Funny.
Allison watches the vehicle in her side mirror. Exterior farmhouse. Allison steps from the truck, watching as the Humvee passes by. Then surveys the property, taking in every detail. Sawyer watches her, nervously rubbing the extra milk bottle in his hands, working up the courage to ask.
Hey, would you like to come in for a sandwich? I mean, if you want. I don't like sending you out on an empty stomach.
That sounds nice, Sawyer.
Sawyer grins. Interior farmhouse kitchen day. Sawyer proudly places a delicious-looking sandwich and chips on the table in front of Allison. She looks at it.
I don't eat animals, Sawyer.
Huh? Oh, the turkey. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't figure. I think I have some peanut butter and jelly somewhere.
He opens the fridge, finds a jar of jam hiding behind his spare chocolate milk, and we cut to interior farmhouse kitchen day later. Allison finishes her last potato chip all alone in the room. Sawyer is soon heard jogging down the stairs, some folded clothes in his hands.
Hey, I've got something for you. My mom had some old clothes in a rag box. Thought you might get cold at night and nothing but a tank. I think they should fit pretty well.
He lays them on the table, and for a split second, Allison shows her first hint of any emotion. A mix of surprise and gratitude. But blink and you would have missed it.
That's very thoughtful of you.
And with that, she slips off her pants. Sawyer spins.
Uh-oh.
He blushes, Allison changing behind him without an ounce of shyness. Sawyer is terribly uncomfortable. Finally,
Sawyer.
Sawyer carefully turns. Allison looks very pretty in her flannel and denim shorts. Sawyer very much takes notice. And that's when a station wagon comes careening into the gravel drive outside. Exterior farmhouse day. Karen storms from her car, eyes locked on the house. Sawyer steps out with Allison in tow.
Hey, Mom, I brought some
Who
company.
is this? You need to go right now, young lady.
Mom, calm
How
down.
could you just bring a stranger to my home without even telling me? And are those my clothes?
Mom, I was being polite. She just got to town.
You get in the house. I want her gone.
Fine, I'll take her back to town.
No, I said that little hussy needs to leave now.
Mom, you're being rude.
It's okay, I'll be fine.
Sawyer wants to say something, but he can't find the words.
It was nice meeting you, Sawyer.
And with that, she strolls down the drive. Sawyer gives his mom an angry glance, then storms inside. Karen left watching after Allison as she walks down the road. Interior Sawyer's room, sunset. Sawyer studies at his desk. He looks like he wants to fight his book. A knock from the door. Karen comes in, quietly sitting on Sawyer's bed. Her anger has subsided, and it seems she might be feeling guilty.
I'm sorry I got so angry, but Sawyer, you can't just bring strangers home without telling me. Who knows who she could have been? Will you please look at me?
Sawyer finally turns.
Sawyer, I've let you do your studying thing over the years, but what have I always told you?
The farm comes first.
The farm comes first. And here you are blowing off your chores all afternoon and bringing some strange girl to my home.
She wasn't strange. She was really nice. And I liked her. I met someone like me for once.
She's not like you.
Sawyer doesn't respond, just tries to read.
Look, Sawyer, you see all these books, this house, our food? What do you think pays for this all?
The farm.
Yes. If you don't focus on that, I will take every last one of these distractions away from you.
Sawyer turns back to his book, fire in his eyes, emotions fighting his kind nature.
If you ever threaten to take my books away again, it'll be the last you ever see me.
Karen looks at her son, surprised, but eyes quickly narrowing. She walks out. Sawyer closes his textbook, frustrated. And then he notices the book cover. Marks where his fingers have burned the paper. He just stares. What is happening? Cut to interior Sawyer's room, night. Sawyer is busy writing a physics equation when he hears quiet voices outside. He goes to the window, finding his mom and Mr. Gresham talking out on the road. Exterior country road, night, same.
Surveillance lost her in the fields. We can't find her anywhere.
Karen notices Sawyer in the window.
He's looking.
Interior Sawyer's room, night. Sawyer watches as Karen bursts into laughter, and it sounds fake. Her eyes narrow. His eyes narrow. He's not buying it. He then turns back to his desk, pupils suddenly dilating. Point of view. He's hit by another wave of crazy vision. He reaches for his bed frame, standing there, just trying not to fall over. Exterior farmhouse, night. It's night now, and all is quiet on the farm. Mr. Gresham materializes from the dark, near the barn, quietly surveying the area like he's on guard duty. Then an unsettled moo from the barn and a quiet crash. Gresham tenses. He rounds the barn, soon hearing a bizarre noise, a sort of clicking. It sounds like the clicking in Sawyer's dream, and with some imagination, the rhythm of a one-sided phone conversation. Gresham straightens up, pulling out a gun from the holster under his shirt. He cautiously He heads cautiously for the barn, checking the silent farmhouse one last time. Interior barn continuous. Gresham slides into the shadowy barn, the clicks abruptly ending. His eyes meet with the cow just staring at him, chewing cud and silently judging. Gresham shuffles over the hay scattered floor, checking every dark corner, but he doesn't find a thing. He finally moves back to the cow, gun going back in his holster, body relaxing. He pets the cow and then a creak from below. Gresham freezes, looks to the pitch-black rafters above, and something rips him upwards. A yelp from Gresham and then a crunch. The sound of 206 human bones breaking at once. Interior farmhouse kitchen, sunrise. Sawyer crunches an orange on a juicer, making fresh orange juice. He puts the juice pitcher in the fridge, noticing his clear medicine vials. He thinks, glancing at a pitcher of ice water on the bottom shelf. Cut to interior farmhouse kitchen morning. Karen comes downstairs, Sawyer setting the table for one with a fresh breakfast.
What's this?
Just thought I'd make breakfast, to say I'm sorry about everything lately.
Karen actually looks a little moved. Sawyer downs his last bit of OJ.
You're not eating.
Already ate. Wanted to get an early start. Can you give me my shot?
Karen sees the syringe ready and sitting on the counter.
Sawyer, you know how accurate it needs to be.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry.
Karen seems annoyed, but still feeling the gratitude for Sawyer's effort. She gives him his shot. Series of shots, back to the tedium, the hay, the hammering, the suicidal fantasies. Interior barn day. As Sawyer feeds his cow, he notices a dark red blotch on her back, the hair dry and matted. He feels it, peering up in the rafters, but there's nothing out of the ordinary.
What'd you get yourself into, girl?
His watch beeps before he can give it any more thought. It's 12 noon, and that means break time. He gives the area one more look and walks off. Exterior farmhouse day. Sawyer opens his truck but stops glancing at the house, having a thought. Interior farmhouse kitchen day. Moments later, Sawyer grabs his extra chocolate milk from the fridge. Interior barn day. Sawyer is busy grinding the combine shears. His focus slowly drifts from one of absent-mindedness to that of intense focus, and after a moment, the sparks begin bending again, just like before. And with a little invisible mental effort, the sparks take on the vague shape of a twisted braid. The slightest smile appears on Sawyer's face as he checks the shear blade, sharp as hell. Sawyer takes a swig from his chocolate milk, then slides back under the combine's crop divider. As he reaches to the very back...
Hello, Sawyer.
Sawyer flinches, slams his hand, the divider crashing down. But Allison grabs it with one hand, holding it up as Sawyer climbs out. And this thing weighs 600 pounds, but she's holding it like it's made out of cardboard. Oh, and all this as she sits cross-legged on the combine's tire. As Sawyer stands, she lets it crash to the floor. Sawyer stares at her. Allison, emotionless.
Huh. Pretty strong for your size.
Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you.
Nah, you didn't scare me.
He takes off his gloves, completely unsure of what he just witnessed, but trying not to show it. He takes a casual swig of chocolate milk.
What is that?
This? What, you've never seen chocolate milk before? It's my favorite. Here, try it.
Allison eyes the bottle and finally takes it. She takes a sip.
Pretty good, huh?
With complete nonchalance, Allison tosses it aside, the bottle shattering on an old tractor engine.
What the heck?
That's not milk.
What do you mean? Of course it is.
That's not milk. Don't ever drink it again.
Sawyer just looks at her, baffled. She simply stares back.
You're a strange one. You know that?
You're the one making art out of flakes of hot iron.
A beat.
Oh, you saw that, huh? It was just a trick.
Do you know any more tricks?
She stares with knowing eyes, Sawyer unsure what she's getting at. He ignores the question.
So, still waiting for your friends, I guess.
Yes.
And so what, need someone to entertain you?
Allison continues staring, doesn't seem to get Sawyer's playfulness.
You ever washed a cow before?
I don't believe so.
Well, Suzanne got herself in a real mess, and I was going to wash her up if you'd like to help.
Allison's face remains blank. Interior 76 station day. Richie stands behind the counter tapping his fingers. He looks at the clock. 2 p.m. Exterior barn day. Sawyer and Allison scrub down Susie, Sawyer having fun, but Allison totally out of her element. It's not that she has a problem getting messy, it's just that the simplest act of sudsing up a pet seems foreign to her. The affair turns playful as Sawyer slings some soap suds at Allison. She looks up, confused, slowly realizing it's a joke. Then suddenly sprays Sawyer calmlessly and mercilessly with the hose. Exterior grocery store day. Richie strolls into a grocery store on Main Street. Interior grocery store continuous. A store clerk sits reading the paper up front. Surprised.
Richard, is this an exercise? No, you're fine, Thompson. Oh, good. She's in back.
Richie heads for the back. The clerk lifts up a phone and waits.
Richard's here.
Down the aisle, as Richie walks down the aisle, we see the shelves minimally stocked, all with non-perishables, and all covered in dust. To his other side, butcher displays are all empty. No meat, no ice, no dairy. Nothing, just more dust. As Richie approaches a closed door, out comes Karen.
Never showed.
I know. He's with her. Let's just see where it goes. I don't want to risk another confrontation.
Exterior field, sunset. Sawyer and Allison sit under a massive oak tree. A giant red sun sits setting over the cornfields in front of them. The scene is pure serenity.
So where is it that you're from, Allison?
Allison pauses, debating whether to answer.
I'm from very far from here.
What, like Florida far or like England far?
Further.
Always so mysterious with you. I like you, Allison.
She looks at him, a bit odd, like she doesn't understand what that means.
Would you have dinner with me?
Her uncertainty fades, and she actually smirks. Exterior Main Street restaurant night. Sawyer and Allison head for a hole in the wall on the main.
You'll like this place. I come here every year for my birthday.
Interior Main Street restaurant night. Sawyer and Allison enter to find the establishment deserted.
Hello? Hello?
Finally, a waitress, 40s, hurries from the back, breathing like she just ran a half mile.
Oh, hey, so I didn't hear ya.
You guys are open, right?
Of course, why wouldn't we be?
She offers a cheesy, awkward smile.
Pretty empty for the weekend.
Suddenly, 9 patrons enter with an almost strange sense of urgency, same as the waitress. And they're not at all together, making their way to different tables and booths.
Spoke too soon, hon.
A group of 3 wave and nod at Sawyer. Hey, Saw.
Hey, guys.
Sawyer shows Allison to a booth as half a dozen more people arrive, scattering over the restaurant, Richie coming in right behind them. He and Sawyer meet eyes.
Hey, Saul.
Sawyer smiles and waves. Richie takes a seat at the bar.
Why don't you look at that menu? Why don't you look at that menu and I'll be right back.
Sawyer heads to the bathroom. Allison watches him go, then looks around. Literally, the entire bar is suddenly staring at her. But Allison keeps that serene face, unaffected. The waitress steps before her, a butchier woman than we realize. And she looks like she has a bone to pick. Interior, same restaurant, bathroom, night. Sawyer zips up his pants and washes his hands. But as he carefully fixes his hair in the mirror, voices rise from the restaurant, and then crash! Sawyer runs out. Interior Main Street restaurant continuous. As Sawyer hurries out, he finds Allison suddenly surrounded by a dozen patrons, all looking ready to fight her.
Whoa, what's going on here?
Sawyer arrives to find the waitress, thrown through a freaking plaster wall, barely stirring. Allison stands totally calm.
Saw your friend just went crazy on Linda here.
Allison, what happened?
This woman attacked me.
What? Why?
Bam! The front door flies open and in march officers Tom and Don.
All right, everybody, calm down. Young lady, you're going to have to come with us.
But, Allison, tell them what happened.
The officers handcuff Allison, and she doesn't resist.
It's okay, Sawyer.
No, it's not okay.
Sawyer, I suggest you back away from her or you'll be going to jail with her.
Sawyer blocks their way.
No, this isn't how you treat guests in our town.
Sawyer puts a belt on Tom's chest, so Tom rips a baton from his belt.
Lieutenant,
A beat. Tom freezes at the resident's command, looking to Richie.
I'll take responsibility for this boy.
Tom finally puts his weapon back.
Sawyer, I said I'll be okay. I'll see you later tonight.
Tom, Don, and Richie glance at each other with that comment. Sawyer a little confused himself, really at a loss for the whole situation. As the cops take Allison to the door, they're let out by Karen just arriving. She steps inside, giving Sawyer a look that could murder. Interior police station holding area night. Allison stands alone behind the bars of a holding cell. Tom stands before her, Don sitting at his desk.
How'd you do it?
Allison just stares, innocent, emotionless, silent.
Are you a mercenary, foreign agent? Listen, you're going to tell us who you are, who you're working for, how you infiltrated our perimeter, and why the hell we shouldn't kill you. And I pray for your sake you give us what we want before Umber units get here, because their tactics involve a lot more breaking and screaming than mine.
Allison stays silent.
Who have you contacted about this?
More silence. Tom about to explode.
Who?
Them?
She grins. Officer Tom looks worried.
Them. Them who?
You know who. Them. They're coming.
Another coy smile. Tom is fed up.
Keep an eye on her.
He storms out. Interior farmhouse kitchen night. Sawyer and Karen in mid-argument.
A criminal, Sawyer? You brought a criminal into my home?
Mom, would you just listen to me? Something's wrong.
I knew that girl was trouble. I knew it the second I laid eyes on her.
But she didn't do anything.
I just can't understand what's gotten into you lately.
No, I don't understand what's gotten into you, into this whole town. But I've had enough of it.
Karen stands quiet after the outburst and Sawyer calms.
Look, Mom, I think there's something going on. I can't explain it, but I don't know. I think a lot of people in this town are in on it.
Listen to yourself, Sawyer. The people are in on it. You sounded like a nutcase.
I'm not crazy, Mom. Something is wrong here.
Karen stares up at her son for a moment and then
That's it. You're taking an extra dose.
she goes to the fridge for Sawyer's vial.
I'm not taking that crap anymore.
Ching, 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 ching. Everything on the shelf in the kitchen suddenly rattles supernaturally. Karen freezes with her hand still in the fridge in silent debate. She closes the door empty-handed.
Fine, Sawyer. Do as you please.
Sawyer stares her down and he's not sorry for yelling. And neither seems intent on addressing what just happened, so he just walks out. Interior Police Station holding area night. The phone rings at Don's desk. He answers.
Yes? Yes, it's fine. Copy.
He hangs up, something suddenly tossed from the cell at his feet. He looks down to find an impossibly mangled set of handcuffs on the floor. He looks to the cell.
Fucking Christ.
Exterior Police Station night. Tom walks outside the station with one of the military men from the day before. Both carry assault rifles.
A teenager doesn't slip through our security without help. I want all checkpoints double-staffed and the professor alerted of possible subject isolation protocol.
Yes, sir. Cut to. Interior Police Station holding area night. Tom and the men turn a corner, discovering a fucking wreck. Lights and wires hanging from the ceiling, papers everywhere, and, holy hell, a modern art masterpiece of blood-slung walls. But the most terrifying thing of all, 6 fucking cell bars are bent wide open.
Get the Admiral on the phone. Now!
Interior barn night. Sawyer takes his anger out on some late night work, tossing hay and moving heavy shit. He hears a truck barreling down the drive, skidding to a stop. He looks out to see someone running into his home. Sawyer hurriedly removes his gloves. Exterior farmhouse night. Sawyer hears hushed voices as he heads up the steps.
We have no idea what we're dealing with.
Interior farmhouse, front hall, continuous. Sawyer opens the screen door to find Richie and his mom.
Oh, hey, there he is. Say, buddy, I felt bad about what happened at the bar tonight. Thought some fishing might cheer you up.
You crazy? It's 10 at night.
Richie glances nervously out the door, stepping outside.
Okay, night fishing, camping, whatever. Let's go. Now.
I don't think so, Rich.
Come on, I got gear and everything. We'll have a fire, some brewskis. It'll be great. Don't make me drag you out there.
The last part was awkward, the tone almost like he meant it.
Another time, Richie.
He starts closing the door. Richie stops with a hand.
Please, Saw. I could really use a friend right now.
A beat. Sawyer just stares at Richie, now looking slightly worried about the guy.
Yeah, okay. Let me grab my jacket.
Exterior campsite night. Sawyer and Richie sit by a campfire in the forest. A rushing river heard somewhere beyond the trees. Richie seems a bit nervous the entire time, eyeing the woods around them.
See, this is just what we needed. This is what life is about. A guy's not in the elements. Know what I mean?
I suppose. A little out of the ordinary, though, don't you think?
Hey, come on. I feel like you've been doing all sorts out of the ordinary.
I guess.
Feels kind of good, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know what? It kind of does.
Cut to further in the woods, night vision point of view. From a distance, the woods are tinted green, the fire a bright white flicker as Richie and Sawyer move in around it. On the ground in the dark, we focus on what seems to be dead leaves and brush, but soon realize it's actually a man in a guile suit, watching from afar with night vision goggles.
East perimeter, check.
Night vision point of view. From a different position, another scout, team leader, hiding in the dark behind a tree. He looks to the fire, then off to the side where more scouts wait, hiding in the bushes, on the ground, in a tree, all over.
Roger. West and south report. Check.
Check.
Skyview.
In a tree, another scout.
Check.
Back to team leader.
Roger. Eye sharp.
Night vision point of view. The night leader turns where a green-tinted Allison stands right behind him. We hear a snap, the lifeless team leader collapsing in the leaves with a twizzled neck. Campfire.
Can I ask you something, Rich?
Sure. Anything, Sawyer.
Well, I've just been having some strange stuff going on lately, and I don't want you to think I'm weird or anything, but I was just thinking, well, first you gotta promise not to tell anyone.
Just spit it out, Saw.
How well do you know the other townspeople?
Richie's face turns serious. In the woods, a scout crouched behind a boulder hears a noise. Looks left.
Center perimeter 3, movement. Advise Eagle 1. Eagle 1.
He turns around, night vision point of view. He could barely make out the corpse of the team leader further away.
Eagle 1 is down. Repeat, Eagle 1 is
Then
down.
movement again. He looks over, night vision point of view, a mass in the brush.
Oh, Jesus, it's here!
Something rushes him. Campfire. Sawyer looks towards the random outburst from the woods as a burst of gunfire erupts off in the trees. Sawyer and Richie nearly falling out of their seats. In the woods, the forest turns into a living nightmare. A scout backs against a tree, rifle raised, snatched up. A glimpse of his boots disappearing in the leaves. Another scout peeping between the gap of two boulders. Yanked through, the stones like steamrollers, bones and cartilage crunching. Another scout, a huge dead log, heaved from the dark, smashing him against a tree like a roach. We move through the trees as man after man fires hopelessly, the mystery beast taking them out rapidly one by one with screams and yelps. Some flung like dolls through the trees, others seemingly torn in half. It's dark, terrifying chaos. Campfire. Sawyer and Richie watch as barrel flashes light up the trees, scattering in a 200-foot perimeter, seemingly fighting multiple enemies, a symphony of machine gun and death yelps.
What the hell's going on?
Get down, Sawyer!
And then from the trees, animal-like screeches, the thing of horror films. In the woods, another scout being dragged through the leaves, screaming bloody murder straight into the bushes. Crunch. Another scout tears off his night vision goggles, swinging his gun from every burst of gunfire. But every time he aims, another burst from somewhere else. In the fire flashes, he can see a black mass rushing from man to man, impossibly fast. And then, his turn, he's ripped away. In the tree, the Skyview scout points his rifle wildly, heart racing. The forest below turns momentarily quiet.
Someone relay a position. I have no visual.
No one answers. Then the sound of a claw in the tree bark below. A claw. The scout aims straight down, firing, yelling, terrified by what's going on. Another scout spots Skyview sailing down from the tree, tops like a fireball, tops like a fastball. He unloads into the tree until 1 second later, bam! A firefight train slams into him. A freight train slams into him from the side. Yelp. Crunch. Dead. Campfire. Richie suddenly pulls a gun from his bag, his speech altering, his accent completely vanishing.
Why do you have a gun, Richie?
Come over here now.
And why are you talking like that?
Now, Sawyer.
Sawyer hurries over. In the woods, a final survivor crawls backwards. Something off screen coming slowly for him, but we only hear its heavy breathing like a Triple Crown racehorse. Please, stop! He finds a rifle on the ground, draws, unloading with a final battle cry. Campfire. Sawyer watches as muzzle bursts stall, then an agonizing scream cut gruesomely short, and then total silence. Sawyer and Richie stand looking at the black forest.
Richie?
Richie makes a silent shh as footsteps approach, twigs snapping. He aims into the trees as Allison appears, a beat.
Allison? Get over here. Something crazy's going down.
Richie holds him back. Sawyer realizes he's pointing the gun at Allison.
What are you doing, Rich?
She steps closer.
You stay the fuck back!
Richie!
Stop!
Richie!
Richie suddenly grabs Sawyer, taking him as a human shield, gun staying on Allison.
Have you lost your dang mind?
I swear you come any closer and
Richie's scared, trying to think. He puts the fucking gun to Sawyer's head.
and I'll kill him.
Allison's shoulders suddenly hunch, eyes lowered, and then something truly frightening. A low, inhuman growl? Beat. Sawyer suddenly smashes Richie's nose with the back of his hand, leaping away, instantly disappearing as he tumbles down the embankment. Richie gets to his feet, nose bloody, dazed. He spots his gun in the leaves, but sees Allison standing there, looking like she's ready to pounce. River ledge. Sawyer lands hard at the incline in the bottom, rushing water behind him. He jumps to his feet, looking back at the embankment as the soft fires glow to hear a short scream, followed by a thud. Campfire. Richie lies motionless by a tree trunk, eyes closed, maybe still breathing, but who knows. And then we catch the tiniest glimpse of something slithering into the bushes, almost like the last centimeter of a python. River's edge. Sawyer turns back to the river on a ledge with a 10-foot drop to the rushing water below. Suddenly a rustle from behind. He turns to find Allison, standing innocently as always.
Hi.
Look, whoever or whatever you are, you stay away from me.
She steps closer, Sawyer glancing to the water behind.
Who I am is your friend. As for what?
She just offers a devilish grin, then another step. Fuck this. Sawyer jumps over the edge, hitting the water in a hideous angle. In the water, Sawyer breathes for air, trying to swim for the other side. But there's no way. The current rapids too much. He just struggles not to drown, gasping, inhaling water, disappearing underwater, where the powerful current sounds like a muffled roar, and where Sawyer begins to black out. River ledge. Allison just watches after Sawyer, indifferent. Then she hears something, a helicopter approaching, and with that she casually steps off the ledge. As we watch where Allison penetrated the water, the night too dark to see clearly, something surfaces, swimming off in a motion comparable only to that of an alligator, and soon submerging back beneath the rapids. Cut to interior airbase bunker, corridor night. Richie and Officer Tom march through a sterile, lifeless military bunker, both now supporting special ops gear. Richie displaying 2 painful claw slashes on his neck and jaw.
We've altered perimeter teams and organized deployment of a parasearch. Homeland's also been briefed on the situation. They've activated all urban field agents within a 100-mile radius.
MJ-12 will have my ass for this. I spotted that thing last center in the river. I want focus on bank areas at least 5 miles up and downstream.
Upstream, sir?
If that thing swims like it runs, there's no telling where it'll end up.
Yes, sir. What about the subject? How are we taking him?
alive, preferably, obviously. But if it's between him escaping the civilian population, we kill him.
And how will that fly with the professor?
It can crash and burn for all I care. Program containment is my command, and it's out of control.
Cut to black. Dream sequence. The same dream from before. A dim light shining through a veiny membrane. A whirlwind of throat-clicking sounds. Then the powerful boom. A bright flash. Exterior riverbank night. Sawyer lies face down in the mud, suddenly convulsing to life, coughing up a slew of warm water. He slowly gets his bearings, surrounded by nothing but dark forest and the stars above. Cut to exterior riverbank night later. Sawyer's wet and cold, crouched over a pile of kindling and rubbing sticks together. He's trying to start a friction fire, but it isn't going well, and he finally gives up. He tosses the stick away, staring in frustration at a pile of wood that's supposed to be on fire. But his gaze slowly morphs into one of extreme concentration. Eyes locked on the wood, mind laser-focused. Extreme close-up. Tiny pieces of bark begin lifting off their twigs, glowing bright orange like embers rising in the heat of the fire. As their numbers grow, a flame ignites, and Sawyer, looking surprised, even though it seems to be exactly what he was going for. But a breeze snaps him out of it, nearly blowing out the flame. He quickly tends to his new campfire, but he's not alone. Point of view from the shelter of trees. Something is moving, watching Sawyer. Sawyer gets up, comfortable, finally having a chance to settle. He gazes up, the sky abundantly clear out there.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Sawyer turns to find Allison standing at the forest edge.
The stars?
Sawyer jumps to his feet, body prepped for fight or flight.
If I wanted to hurt you, I wouldn't have pulled you from the river.
Listen, I don't know what you did back there, what you did to Richie, but...
I only did what was necessary.
Did you kill him? Huh? Did you kill my friend?
He is not your friend.
A beat, Allison lets that sink in, then sighs, softening.
I didn't kill the one you call Richie. You exhibited micro-expressions suggesting you care for his well-being. I only eliminated the threats I had to.
Who are you?
I need you to come with me.
She steps toward him. Sawyer picks up a nice big stick, ready to make a stand.
I'm not going anywhere with you, you hear me?
Allison shows her first sign of impatience.
Please just come and don't make this difficult.
She steps towards him again.
I said get back!
He swings, but Allison stops the club with one hand and zero effort, ripping it away with Hulk-like force. And she's getting angry. Sawyer backs up, finds a stone for a weapon. Attempt number 2. So Allison reaches down and picks up her own rock. Not only suction cupped in the mud, but also weighing 75 goddamn pounds, and she's palming it. Sawyer knows he's in trouble, backing away. Allison hurls the stone, thwump. The rock slams into Sawyer's chest, sending him flying to the ground. A hit that would crush your lungs and embed every shard of shattered ribcage inside. And yet, Sawyer lies there, still breathing, even if in agonizing pain. He struggles to his feet, fighting for air, finding Allison making an approach, and then his face changes. Point of view, the grainy world again. Allison, the fire, the river, the trees. A beat. Allison noticing Sawyer's sudden change in demeanor. His sudden look of determination. She charges him. Boom! With a wave of the hand and a supersonic boom, Allison launches him backwards, slamming him against a tree, cracking her head with a sort of short feminine yelp. Sawyer falls to a knee, breathing super heavy. Whatever he just did was exhausting. He looks up to Allison's lifeless body, lying face submerged in the river's edge, helpless. Sawyer's adrenaline dwindles, and he begins looking terrified at what he's done. Cut to exterior riverbank night later. Allison lies glowing from the flickering fire, eyes closed, with hair brushed neatly out of her face. Her eyes suddenly flutter open, realizing her head is in Sawyer's lap. He's busy dabbing a wound on her head with the handkerchief, his jacket wrapped around her. Allison quickly moves away, now on the defensive. Sawyer standing a little more on guard himself.
Easy.
Did you see me?
What?
Did you see me? Did I shift form?
No, I don't think so. Now will you settle down? You're hurt.
She feels her head.
I'll be fine.
She suddenly realizes she's wrapped in Sawyer's jacket. She can't take it off fast enough, tossing it to him.
No, you're not fine. You're soaked and you're cold, and you're gonna get pneumonia out here if you don't keep warm.
I don't get cold.
Okay, I was just trying to help.
The tension is unbearably thick. Sawyer finally sighs.
Look, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm really sorry.
She's still on the ground, but her face slowly softens.
I know, Sawyer. I shouldn't have been so impatient. I've never been taken out like that. I was warned about your kind, but that force...
See, what the heck does that mean?
We must go. I dragged you 20 miles downriver, but they'll come.
You swam 20 miles?
The current helped.
Sawyer lets out a breath. This is madness.
All right, you need to explain this mess right now.
Please, Sawyer.
Now, Allison.
Allison glares, debating until finally...
It's your town.
What about my town?
It isn't a town. It's an off-grid military compound.
Well, yeah, there's a base there, but...
Sawyer, the town is the base.
A beat.
2 days ago, something woke up an energy in you that should have been present long ago. an energy that propagated over the earth. Whatever they were doing to you, it hid you from me. But after observing their protocols, I think they've merely been trying to control you. They haven't even begun to realize what you are.
Allison, I'm a farm boy from nowhere, Colorado.
No, Sawyer. You're so much more.
Interior military transport plane night. Wind and plane engines roar from the cargo door, a dizzying view of the dark forest below. Richie stands yelling over the noise to a team of paratroopers.
You will be dropped at intervals, setting up search radii of no less than 3 kilometers. If you find the target, you will track their position and you will avoid detection at all costs. You will not engage the subject or the enemy combatant. We seem to be dealing with a creature made for turning men into corpses. So for your own preservation, no heroes. Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
A pilot enters from the cockpit.
We're entering the search perimeter, Admiral.
All right, mission is live. Delta 1, go, go!
The first paratrooper leaps out. Exterior military transport plane night, same. The blacked out plane cruises over the endless forest, the tiny men falling out one by one. Exterior riverbank night.
I'm telling you, whatever you think I am, I'm not.
Sawyer, I threw that stone with the force to kill any man. You just started a fire with your mind. I don't feel it's careless to suggest you're abnormal.
He looks away. Can't argue with that.
The people in town have kept you prisoner as nothing more than a lab rat. I know people who can help you use your abilities. Now let me take you to them.
Does it mean that I have to be like you? Whatever you did, those screams.
She's amused.
No, you're nothing like me. You're far too innocent.
Sawyer looks uncomfortable with whatever that means. Allison's ears perk up, listening. The faintest sound of an aircraft somewhere.
They're searching for you. We must move.
She picks up the fiery logs with her bare hands and flings them into the river, scattering mud onto the embers.
Allison?
Sawyer, you know I'm not here to harm you. I can see that in your eyes. You must trust me now.
Sawyer looks still unsure.
You want it out of that town, correct? You want to help people?
Yeah.
Well, this is your only chance.
He debates in silence, and finally...
Where will we go?
There's a town a few miles upwind.
How do you know?
I smell people.
Off Sawyer. Hiking montage. Sawyer and Allison take the entire morning, a breathtaking journey through the Colorado wilderness, up mossy rock walls, down grassy hillsides, around emerald green ponds over small streams. Allison seems to lead with the drill sergeant-inspired pace, but that doesn't stop Sawyer from taking in the sights. Finally, they climb over a huge fallen spruce, finding a man-made path. Exterior Colorado woods day. Allison leads Sawyer down a trail carpeted in pine needles.
Hey, Allison?
Yes, Sawyer?
What happened back in the woods?
That's only my concern. Don't burden yourself with it.
Sawyer walks quietly for a moment, but he's not satisfied.
But I just don't get it. You seem so kind and gentle. I couldn't imagine you hurting anyone. I mean, you don't even eat meat, for goodness sakes.
I said I don't eat animals. I said nothing about meat.
And what does that mean?
I feed on people, Sawyer.
Sawyer is horrified.
Don't be so quick to judge. People eat beef, correct? Well, the relative gap in intelligence between a cow and human is minuscule to the gap between a human and my kind.
He's still in shock, second-guessing his decision.
So by human logic, there's nothing wrong with me using a man, woman, or child for sustenance, correct?
Sawyer just stares. How do you respond to that? Finally...
I'm only trying to be funny. I sacrifice life only for a greater purpose, not to eat.
Sawyer kind of laughs, relieved, but is still uneased.
Oh, yeah. That's a good joke.
Allison suddenly goes to a massive pine tree and starts climbing. Sawyer looks up from below.
Hey, what are you doing? Be careful.
The tree's 100 feet tall. Allison jumping and pulling up by the limbs. Incredibly quick and acrobatic, but not inhumanly so. Treetop. Allison reaches the top branch, towering over the forest. Below in the distance, she spots a picturesque mountain town nestled in a valley.
The town isn't far. We should be there within 2 hours.
Tree bottom, Sawyer's a little excited.
How big is it?
Bigger than you've ever seen.
I can't wait.
Allison smiles warmly at his boyishness until honk! An ear-piercing horn sounds out of nowhere. Sawyer jumps, covering his ears, looking everywhere. Instantly, what we assume is Allison, though she's concealed by branches, zooms down the tree, then off laterally into other trees, branches moving at an inhumanly impossible speeds. The horn finally stops, the forest still and chill.
Jesus Christ!
A broad-shouldered hiker steps out. Christopher, a super friendly, charismatic, granola-eating, hiker.
Boy, you gave me a scare.
We scared you?
The hiker holds up a small air horn.
It's a bear detractor. I heard you stumbling through the brush and was sure I was about to be man porridge.
Allison suddenly flips down from a tree behind the hiker. The hiker startles, a little more nervous of a petite girl than he should be. Maybe it's the murder in Allison's eyes, or the tiny growl that slips out.
Oh, hello to you too.
Allison, it's okay.
She hesitates, but goes against her better instinct and settles. The hiker comes to shake Sawyer's hand.
Name's Christopher, by the way.
Good to meet you. I'm Sawyer, and this is Allison.
You guys headed down or up?
Down into town.
Hey, me too. You two mind a little company?
Sawyer looks to Allison.
Been camping up here all week. Could really use some help interacting with something besides trees and rocks.
Sawyer thinks, and finally,
Hey, why not? It's good to meet a new friend.
Allison glares at him. Clearly, she does not trust him.
Allison, does that sound good to you?
Allison continues eyeing the man, judging, then suddenly turns back to her own calm, innocent self.
Of course.
Cut to exterior Colorado woods day later. Allison leads the way as Sawyer and Christopher chat behind.
A scientist?
That's right.
I never would have figured by the looks of you. I mean, a farmer, maybe.
No, been there, done that. I want to do something else. Use science to make things better. You know, create more efficient biochemical methods or extrapolate existing energy infrastructure. Stuff like that.
Christopher looks at Sawyer after that bout of big words.
Well, that's mighty noble of you, Saw. You don't mind if I call you Saw, do you?
Nah, of course not.
On Allison, take a note of that. She's listening to their every syllable.
For someone afraid of bears, you sure do talk quite loud.
Oh, sorry.
Yet you seem to have caught us off guard. Not many people can do that with me. You're a stealthy hiker, Chris. You don't mind if I call you Chris, do you?
No. Go right ahead.
Sawyer gives Allison a look, annoyed. The group hits a fork in the path. One way staying on a high path down the mountain, the other heading down the base of a rock wall. Allison suddenly intertwines her hand between Sawyer's. Sawyer caught off guard, but certainly not protesting. He looks like a puppy-loved teen as Allison leads him down the low path.
Whoa, hold up. I tried coming up that way, but a rock slide's cut it off, so we'll need to take the upper trail.
I think we can handle it. Bye, Chris.
Hey, if you want to waste half a day retracing your steps, by all means.
She glares at Chris, something only he sees.
It'll be fine, Allison.
Sawyer innocently pulls Allison along, following Christopher up the high trail, Allison remaining calm. Interior Airbase Bunker Lab Day, a highly advanced military chemical laboratory. Dr. Vincent sitting very small at a desk as Richie hovers over him.
I won't do it.
The professor ordered it, and you will comply, understood?
A dosage that extreme could kill him. I won't do it.
I'm sure you know the consequences for insubordination in the Umbra program.
I'd rather face jail than know I killed someone as extraordinary as that boy.
Jail. That's cute. This isn't the army, Vincent. Insubordination here gets you an unmarked grave in a cornfield.
But Sawyer isn't a threat
The
to you.
subject and the thing he's with are responsible for 16 deaths and the two men euthanized. You're right. They're not threats. They're monsters.
Vincent sits conflicted. Officer Tom walks in.
Admiral, Homeland Scout has them spotted. He pinged them 26 miles northwest of base.
Get a team. Relay he has to do nothing. He is to track, he is not to engage.
Yes, sir.
Tom leaves.
Prepare it, Doctor. Or friends and family will join you in that field.
The doctor watches him march out. Ooh. Exterior Colorado woods, cliff-top day. Allison leads as the group approaches an opening in the trees. It appears to be a rocky cliff ledge. Christopher grabs Sawyer's arm, slowing down his pace.
Hey, so what's the deal with your friend anyway? She seems very, I don't know, scary.
On Allison, her eyes narrowing, ears perking. She doesn't like the adjective scary.
No, she's actually really nice once you get to know her, and she's really smart, and she's beautiful, and well, she's perfect, really.
On Allison hearing this and letting the tiniest of smiles escape, just about the time her foot hits a nearby invisible tripwire, Christopher seems to have a sixth sense, tackling Sawyer at the very same instant as, boom! Allison is consumed by fire exploding from the trees on either side of her. Sawyer scrambles to his feet as the smoke clears. Seeing Allison crawling towards the cliff through the flames, her breaths loud like a huffing of a horse before...
Allison!
Jesus, what the hell was that?
Cliff ledge. Allison crawls onto the cliff, her movements inhuman, robotic almost, her joints popping loudly. She collapses. Sawyer stops dead in his tracks, finding Allison's back incinerated. If fourth degree burns were a thing, this would be fifth. And even more disturbing, a green, scaly, non-human skin encasing the macabre wound, blending into Allison's skin.
Allison, just stay calm.
Sawyer is scared for his friend, eyes darting, and he has no idea what to do until he suddenly settles, zen-like, concentrating on Allison. Point of view, the vision, everything grainy and moving, especially the gruesome flesh on Allison's back.
Allison, I think I can fix it.
Do it, please.
Sawyer's hands hover over the wound and it begins to heal, but not like fresh skin is growing, more like individual atoms rearranging into what skin is. Allison turns over still in pain, or maybe just scared from it all. The first obvious vulnerability we've seen from the girl. Her eyes stay locked with Sawyer's, the two souls connected. Whoa. Allison and Sawyer find Christopher standing there, eyes wide. He puts down his pack, crouching next to them.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Sawyer helps Allison up. She rolls her shoulder blades and her entire skeleton seems to crack.
What in the hell was that?
I don't know. Methane buildup, you think?
Allison takes a few weak steps, but stumbles, grabbing Christopher for support.
Whoa, careful.
Allison's grip suddenly tightens, eyes meeting with Christopher's. A beat.
Sawyer, help me!
No, Allison!
With the strength of 10 gorillas, Allison hurls him off the fucking cliff. Christopher plummeting in screams of horror. Sawyer runs to the ledge.
He was just a hiker!
Without a word, Allison doves Chris's pack. Night vision goggles, pistols, extra clips, blasting caps, protein bars, cash. Everything an agent needs to survive, track, and kill. Sawyer looks heartbroken, betrayed yet again.
Is this what one often brings hiking?
She scours through the pack.
He smelled of gunpowder and explosive nitroamine, but I thought maybe I could let him live. I shouldn't have.
She finds a GPS device.
He seems to have been broadcasting our location. We must move quickly. We'll be safer in town.
She pockets the wad of cash, then crushes the GPS, heaving it, and the pack off the cliff as she heads into the woods. Sawyer hesitates, looking out of town to the visible below. A quiet and peaceful view with no hint of the morbid events that have just taken place. Exterior, road to mountain town, day. In the distance ahead, Allison and Sawyer walk the rural road to town. Allison politely hails a passing truck, the driver pulling over. Exterior pickup truck, day. The truck heads to town, Sawyer and Allison hitching a ride in the back. Allison studies Sawyer. She can tell he's upset.
I'm sorry I had to do that in front of you.
He hesitates, finally.
I just don't understand it.
She inches closer, sitting next to him, placing her hand on his as she looks out to the scenery.
You must remember, none of these people are who you think. You can't trust anyone.
But I can trust you.
Allison stares, knows his point, but with absolute certainty.
Yes.
The truck comes to a stop. Allison's reassuring gaze finally breaking with Sawyer's. She hops out. Exterior mountain town main strip, day. Sawyer and Allison stroll through the bustling historic town, and though Sawyer's eyes take in all the foreign sights, his face remains melancholy, the experience of finally seeing a new town tarnished by his circumstances. Allison glances up at him, eyes exuding sympathy and guilt. Exterior mountain town cafe, day. Sawyer sits alone at a table of a chic cafe. Allison nowhere to be found. A waitress arrives with 2 dishes.
Here you go, honey.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, aren't you polite with your ma'ams? Must not be from around here.
No, ma'am. Up in Rumsfield.
Never heard of it.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty small.
Sounds nice.
You'd be surprised.
She smiles.
Let me know if you need anything.
She leaves. Sawyer looks out to the main strip, full of people and busy shops. A real town, but what's it matter? A bottle of chocolate milk suddenly clinks down in front of him. Allison is the gift giver.
There. That's chocolate milk.
Sawyer is a bit skeptical, but he finally takes a drink. The look on his face is like a kid losing their ice cream virginity.
Holy cow. This is amazing. What in the heck have I been drinking for 18 years?
A toxic blend of desflurane, halothane, ketamine, and propofol. I believe I also tasted trace amounts of benzodiazepine as well.
A beat, Sawyer just stares.
Come, there's something else I want you to see.
Cut to interior movie theater, night. Sawyer and Allison sit watching a trope-pregnant horror film. A woman shuffling through a creepy house, about to open the door as she shouldn't. Sawyer jumps back in his seat as the girl screams bloody murder. Allison lets out a morbid snicker. Sawyer looks at her, his anxiety soon replaced by a grin. Exterior Colorado woods, bottom of cliff, night. A chopper hovers in the night sky above the cliff face. Below, a dozen military men search through the black forest. Richie bends down, spotting the crushed GPS with his rifle flashlight. Tom stands at his side. They look up. Christopher's mangled body hangs twisted in the trees above. Chopper searchlights piercing through the branches.
Poor idiot.
He should have followed orders. Goddamn homeland.
Richie walks off. Tom left looking at his dangled corpse. Exterior mountain town park, night. String lights illuminate the town's small central park in a magical, almost romantic glow. Sawyer and Allison stroll.
That was incredible. I mean, I had read about the cinema in old books, but wow, the screen and the sound, just wow.
It's the only thing people make that intrigues me.
Sawyer settles down, still feeling the rush of the night's events, of experiencing normal life. He suddenly stops, a little off balance.
Are you all right?
Yeah, it's just happening again, the vision.
Your abilities are gaining strength. You're experiencing what should have taken a lifetime to adapt to.
It's like I can just feel every piece of everything around me, every molecule, every atom, and manipulating them is like, I don't know, it's like walking. I don't have to think about it or what to do. I just do it.
He gets it under control, turning to Allison.
Allison? Am I a witch?
Allison looks at him, his question amusing, but her eyes are quickly consumed with serious consideration.
You are what we call a creator, Sawyer. You can do wondrous things. But please, my friends are much better suited for explaining this to you.
Sawyer tries hiding his unsatisfied feelings.
And if I am this creator, what's that make you?
My talents are a little more focused. If you'd like to be polite, I suppose you might call me a searcher. I recover things.
What do you search for?
For the past 18 years, you.
Sawyer takes that in.
And if I didn't care to be polite, what would I call you then?
A hunter.
Sawyer stares, swallows hard.
Your type have their minds, Sawyer. And mine, we have our claws.
Sawyer thinks on that. They walk in silence for a moment.
You know, this is going to sound stupid, but even after all that's happened and everything you've told me, I still can't help thinking I wish I could tell my mom. Or, you know, who I thought was my mom.
Allison studies him, eyes sad.
You truly are fond of those people, aren't you?
Well, yeah. They raised me.
They raised you, yes, but that doesn't mean they care about you.
They continue on through the park, Sawyer looking to the sidewalk in a hidden heartache. Interior cheap motel night. Sawyer sits on a motel bed, staring at the room's phone with that same look, longing for a missing piece of his life. He glances to the closed bathroom door, tub water running inside. He picks up the phone. Interior farmhouse kitchen night, same. An old rotary phone hangs on the wall, silent. But then a tiny red light on the side begins to blink. Interior airbase bunker communications room night, same. A room full of fancy military computers like a nuclear missile navigation room. A recording device automatically engages on the computer. Interior cheap hotel night. Sawyer listens to the receiver. The number you have dialed is not in service. Please contact your local provider. Sawyer hears the water stop and hangs up. Allison exits the bathroom. She stares at him, looking into his very being. She crawls over the bed in an animalistic fashion, sitting cross-legged intimately close to Sawyer, face to face.
You're sad. I don't want you to be sad.
Sawyer remains silent, not willing to admit or deny it.
Sawyer, you mustn't let these things trouble you. Do you understand? You are too sweet and too special. You are meant for great things.
Sawyer loses himself in Allison's beautiful eyes. And then, he kisses her. Allison kissing him back for a split second and then leaning away, seemingly caught off guard, more so by her own willingness.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It was stupid.
No, you're fine, but we mustn't. If you saw what I really was, you would not want to kiss me.
I've seen plenty to know that I do.
A look from Allison, doesn't know how to react. She walks and sits by the window.
I have a purpose, Sawyer, and I must focus on it. Now, please, get some sleep.
You should too.
No, it's still too noisy out there for me.
She looks back out the window, Sawyer watching her. He finally turns out the light.
Good night, Allison.
Good night, Saw.
Sawyer gets under the covers. Interior cheap hotel night later. Sawyer is fast asleep. We soon realize Allison is just sitting cross-legged on a table next to the bed, just watching over Sawyer in the dark. She climbs onto the bed, predatory in her movement. She continues observing Sawyer every breath he takes, her eyes beginning to glow with a slight bioluminescence. She feels his cheek lightly, studying his skin. Then she leans in, hesitating, and then kissing him softly. Sawyer stirs, taking her hand in his sleep. Allison stares at her hand in his, feeling stirring, and then she slips away. Bathroom. In the dark, Allison looks at herself in the mirror. She puts a hand to her face, feeling her cheek. An undeniably beautiful girl, seemingly saddened by her appearance. She removes her clothes and pulls back the shower curtain, revealing a tub full of water. She steps inside. Interior cheap motel morning. Sawyer sleeps alone, through sunlight peeking through the curtains. A figure soon hurries through frame. It's Officer Tom. He peers through the open bathroom door, rifle aimed. It's empty. The shower curtain pulled closed.
Room clear.
He heads onto the bed as Karen walks in. She takes a seat in front of the bed.
Wait outside.
Sawyer stirs awake, rubbing his eyes. He soon realizes the door is wide open and he sees Karen.
Mom?
Where's the girl?
Sawyer looks around, doesn't know any more than she does.
I don't know.
Listen, Sawyer. I don't know what kind of lies this girl's been telling you, but I'm here to take you home.
I'm not coming home, Mom. Alice and I are meeting people. People who can help me do good things.
This girl isn't who you think she is.
Will you just listen, Mom? I can do things. Wild, superhuman things.
No, Sawyer, you'd have to be human first.
A beat. Bathroom. From above the tub, we see Allison lying closed underwater and she's not coming up, like a sleeping vampire in a water coffin. Motel room.
I don't expect you to understand everything right away, but you need to trust me so I can look after you.
I'm staying, Mom.
So you're determined to abandon the farm?
Sawyer stares, but his mind is made up.
Yes.
I didn't want it this way.
She puts a hand to her ear.
Take 'em.
Cut to exterior parking lot day, same. Richie lies on the roof of a car, looking through a rifle scope. Pow! Interior cheap motel. Zip! Something flies through the doorway. Thump! A Tranco dart sinking into Sawyer's jugular. Bathroom. Allison's eyes fly open, glowing bioluminescence bright. She rises out of the water. Motel room. Karen looks to the bathroom, hearing the splashing water. Shit. She walks out. Exterior cheap motel continuous, revealing 24 masked military men lining either side of the doorway.
It's in the bathroom. I want it breathing.
Soldiers roll, flashing grenades inside. Interior cheap motel day. Allison bursts from the bathroom, stark naked, the PG-13 version. Looks over, Sawyer meeting her eyes in shock as he feels a dart sticking from his freaking neck. Allison marches ferociously for the door as the grenades roll to her feet. She looks down, beat. Boom, 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 boom. She's thrown back into the room, Sawyer knocked to the floor. Soldiers begin firing gas canisters into the room. Foop, 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 backing Allison away, filling the room with a toxic fog. The first man finally moves in. A scream as he's hurled back out. Still, more brave men file in. Exterior parking lot day, same. Karen and Richie march away from the hotel room as more troops enter. Terrible screams coming from the gas-filled room. Onlookers start gathering.
I want these people cleared before we make any more of a scene.
Crash! A SWAT mask-covered human head flies through the front window of the parking lot. Interior cheap motel room day. We stay on Sawyer as he tries standing, the room full of gas. Zaps and electrical arches flash from off-screen as the soldiers try juiced-up cattle prods. He's now joined by those terrifying screeches and roars heard back in the woods. In a cloud of smoke by the door, men battle something that isn't human. A flash of a claw, a glimpse of a bony joint, then a tail whip. Men being punted and thrown, but seemingly winning the battle. And then Sawyer sees it. Time slows. Gas parts and sunbeams shine, all to reveal an unimaginably vicious creature. 8 feet tall, lanky yet strong, and faster than sound. It's as if a xenomorph crossbred with a velociraptor. Indisputably terrifying, but somehow fascinating all the same. Sawyer's eyes grow heavy as more men burst in, the creature slowly succumbing to the gas and stun guns, until finally it collapses to the floor with one last powerful huff. And that's when Sawyer sits down on the bed, eyes closing as he crumples to the crusty motel floor. Cut to black. Dream sequence. Again, over the blackness, muffled creaking and movement, the foggy membrane and veins, then boom, flash, crash! Interior airbase bunker, Sawyer's cell, night. He startles awake, finding himself in a metal chair, hands cuffed behind his back. He sits in a large, plain white observation cell, heart monitor wires attached and an IV sticking out of his arm.
They're memories.
Dr. Vincent sits at the desk across the room, Officer Tom standing guard with his rifle. Vincent comes to remove the IV and check Sawyer's vitals.
The dreams you have, they're memories from the night your mother and father died along with the rest of their people. We found you, Sawyer.
The cell door opens, Richie leaning in.
Enough. The professor wants to speak with him first.
Richie?
Sawyer stares at the man he thought was his friend. Richie just stares back, face hard, but something in his eyes. He doesn't feel great about the situation. He exits.
Dr. Vincent, why are you doing this?
Vincent puts a hand on Sawyer's shoulder, taking out a syringe.
I'm sorry, Sawyer. I don't have a choice.
He injects it into Sawyer's spine. Interior airbase bunker, cell hallway, Allison's cell, night. A masked guard walks to the hall, passing a plate glass observation window.
Mister?
The guard stops to look inside. Allison sits alone in a chair in a very big empty room. The cell's 6-inch blast glass, as well as its solid concrete walls, have massive claw marks etched all over them.
Please help. I just want to go home.
Quiet! Side view. Crash! The chair explodes on the window, hurled at 50 meters a second, but the guard doesn't flinch.
It's best you calm down, honey.
Karen approaches the window. Allison tenses up like a tiger ready to ambush, and then she does just that, pouncing at the window with a terrible screech, morphing seamlessly into the nightmare from before, clawing and beating the glass.
Look at you. Such a fabulous creature. Every inch of you made for killing.
Allison lets go a low, spine-tingling growl, then paces the room on all fours.
What are you called?
Allison slashes at the glass, leaving a trio of scratches.
You know, Allison, is it? We'd like to keep Sawyer. We have use for him. But our only use for you is seeing how you work on the inside. We're gonna dissect you, Allison.
Allison lets out another screech, displaying a close-up of her 250 razor-sharp teeth. Karen not a bit intimidated.
You should show your true form to Sawyer. I'm sure he'd still fancy you then.
Allison recoils slightly. Even as this terrifying creature, she exhibits vulnerability. Karen walks away. Interior airbase bunker, Sawyer's cell, night. Karen steps in looking all business.
Mom.
You can remove his restraint.
Tom follows orders.
That'll be it for now.
Tom leaves. Karen sizes Sawyer up.
First, I want to be clear. I'm not your mother, and I never was. I'm a scientist, and you are my subject.
18 years, Mom.
All an act, all fake. Fake dinners, fake birthdays, fake love. I'm not trying to hurt you, Sawyer. I mean that. I'm just being realistic and dealing with the situation accordingly. The sooner you accept it, the sooner we can move forward.
He's heartbroken.
18 years ago, a foreign vessel not of this earth was detected entering American airspace over the Wyoming wilderness. It was shot down, and the United States Air Force recovered the only surviving entity. You. Still in your mother's womb.
He's at a complete loss.
We buried you here in the black project known as Umbra. Set up to raise you in a natural environment, but as a toddler, you began displaying unusual abilities, turning toys into their basic elements, moving 2-ton vehicles because it made you laugh. Sawyer, you destroyed things. People feared you.
Sawyer's sadness slides to anger with each passing moment.
We've been studying you for all these years, trying to figure out how you work to do more than simply control you with drugs, but minus an above average cerebral cortical surface area, you have the anatomy of a normal human.
Where's Allison?
Sawyer, are you not listening to me? You're from another world. Do you not comprehend how astounding that is?
Where is she?
Karen pauses, rethinking her strategy.
You think she cares about you? She's not protecting you. She's guarding you like an asset.
That's not true.
You like her, don't you?
Sawyer looks away.
Would you care to see what really is you like?
She pushes a control on the wall. A metal window blind raises in front of Sawyer, revealing a cell across the hall. The creature Allison still pacing on all fours. Allison looks up, sees Sawyer looking. She darts out of view to the side of her window.
I'll let you find some closure before we begin studying it.
Karen engages an intercom, then leaves. Moments later, human Allison pokes her head out, cautiously coming out of hiding, a little ashamed and embarrassed. Intercut between cell, voices via intercoms.
Hi.
You lied to me. You said I was going to help people.
I didn't lie to you, Sawyer. You are meant to help other beings. They just may not be from this world.
What are you getting out of it, huh?
What do you mean, what am I getting? It is my purpose.
Allison truly doesn't seem to remember or understand Sawyer's implication.
And your friends coming to help? Was that all a lie too?
They're not coming to help you.
Sawyer reacts, another lie.
They're coming to take you.
A beat.
Sawyer, you're a Crinodius, a cladistic species extremely unique and even more scarce. Your species can mold the energy that creates the very matter of the universe, its very building blocks. You can manipulate atoms, you can warp space. Sawyer, you can bend the very laws of physics themselves.
Everything Allison says, it feels genuine. She's not putting on her sweet act anymore.
I was dropped on this planet to find you. That is my purpose. And yours is to build and create, to better worlds and civilizations. But this world is not civil.
My purpose is my own decision. Not yours, not your friends, and definitely not these people.
Sawyer, you are not supposed to be here.
Sawyer glares for a moment.
You're no different than them.
A beat. Allison looks down, hurt.
Sawyer, my kind, we are very focused beings. But when I'm with you, I sometimes forget what it is I must be doing. Do you understand?
He looks away. Allison puts a hand at the glass.
I care about you, Sawyer, and it's why I must look after you.
Sawyer stares back, too betrayed to return anyone's love.
I wish I'd never met you.
He pushes the window control and the cover comes back down. Allison left in sorrow. Interior Airbase Bunker Lab Night. Dr. Vincent sits in his lab, contemplative and guilt-ridden. An intercom engages.
The professor's ordered another administration.
Vincent opens the fridge, scanning vials, then glances to a cabinet above filled with several other chemical bottles. battle of morals taking place in his head. Interior airbase bunker, Sawyer's new room, night. Sawyer sits hopeless in another cold, lifeless room, a metal desk and a prison bed in the corner. It's really depressing. Richie and Tom stand guard as Karen smooths the bedsheet.
This will be your new home. Something you brought upon yourself.
Dr. Vincent enters with a syringe, sweating so profusely you'd think it was 90 degrees in there.
7 cc's?
What?
Vincent is jittery because he's nervous as hell, something that doesn't escape Karen.
The medication. 7 cc's, correct?
Oh, yes, that's what you ordered, right?
Yes.
Vincent's eyes meet with Karen, then look away. Karen continues studying him, x-raying his freaking soul.
Sorry to keep sticking the same spot, Saw. This'll sting.
He prepares to plunge the needle.
Stop.
Vincent does.
What is it?
Karen takes the needle, dripping a few drops on her finger, feeling its consistency. She smells it, then licks it. And that's when a fire ignites in her eyes.
Saline?
A beat.
I'm just looking out for the boy's well-being. We can't keep injecting him at this rate.
Take him to the lab. If he disobeys orders again, retire him.
Richie opens the door.
Doctor.
The demoralized doctor walks to the room but stops, turning to Sawyer.
I'm sorry, Sawyer. For all of it.
In a flash, he pulls a gun from his lab coat, aims it at Sawyer. Pfft! A trank dart slams right into Sawyer's heart. Pop, pop, pop. Tom instinctively shoots Vincent, hits him twice in the shoulder. Interior airbase, Allison's cell, night, same. Allison sits cross-legged, closed eyes shooting open, and then a smirk. She can feel it. Interior airbase, Sawyer's new room, night. Sawyer sits in shock, his breathing increasing. Karen yanks the dart out.
Secure him, now!
Tom handcuffs Sawyer to the chair, Richie dragging the bleeding doctor outside. Hallway, lifting him to the wall by his collar.
What did you give him?
Vincent won't say. Richie puts a gun to his head.
Answer me!
Hydroxymethylaminoethylbenzene.
Richie hasn't a clue. Karen comes out.
What the hell was it?
Hydroxymethylamino something.
You gave him pure adrenaline, you bastard! I have to get to the lab. You do not let the subject leave the room, whatever it takes.
She looks to Vincent in hatred.
Get rid of him.
She sprints down the hall. Richie drags Vincent to a utility closet, throws open the door, and flings the helpless doctor inside.
He doesn't deserve this! He deserves a life!
Richie draws his standard issue M9 Barada.
We'll give him yours.
From the hall, Richie aims into the closet. Pop, pop, pop. Sawyer's new room. Sawyer sucking in breaths now, adrenaline coursing, pupils dilating, sweat pouring. Tom backs up, gripping his rifle like a nervous little boy. Suddenly, Sawyer looks up and we know. POV. The vision is stronger than anything we've seen. Sawyer can literally see every atom in a 200-meter radius, every guard, every molecule, everything. Then, close on Sawyer's handcuffs as they melt away, he stands.
Ah, bro!
Tom aims for the kill. Sawyer puts a hand up. Whumped! Tom is thrown from the wall, but the wall dissolves away. Tom continuing his rocket flight through each successional room as the wall dissolves. Tom sailing through 4 different rooms by the end of it. Sawyer stands, chest heaving, surprised, angry, freaked, and determined. A conflicting emotional cocktail amplified by being on the verge of a drug-induced meltdown. Tom jumps to his feet. Sawyer instantly reinstates the 4 walls, trapping Tom. The last wall left rough and distorted, like Sawyer didn't completely put it back together quite right. Richie appears in the doorway with a look. Sawyer mentally slams the door, instantly fusing it with the frame. Not from heat, but from the materials actually swirling together. Sawyer is scared and amazed by his ever-increasing abilities. He looks around for an escape plan, eyes the far wall and the maintenance corridor, and the cement wall shatters like glass, shards filling the hallway. Sawyer sprints out. Hallway. Richie pounds an alarm, a siren wailing. He charges down the hall, Tom joining from the room he was thrown to.
What the hell are we gonna do? How do we fight that?
You get a fucking armada to the exit tunnel and stay on comm. I'll get the professor.
They split up. Interior airbase bunker, maze of hallways, night. Sawyer navigates this labyrinth, the alarm blaring. A guard steps out, and Sawyer flings him into a wall, knocks him out cold. Around the corner, 2 more guards. Sawyer dissolves the floor from underneath them, and the men begin sinking into linoleum quicksand. Another guard raising his rifle. Sawyer liquefies the gun and solders the guy around the waist to the ceiling. The men left kicking and squirming. Interior airbase bunker, Allison's cell, night. Allison sits quietly, looking to the cell wall and panning her head as if watching through the wall as someone runs down the hall. Her eyes reach the window. Sawyer runs into view. He's pale and out of breath, staring at her, Allison waiting for him to say something, and finally...
I'm sorry, Sawyer.
You really hurt me, you know?
Allison looks down, Sawyer's eyes still locked, and finally...
Well, we gonna mope around all night, or are we gonna get back out of here?
Allison looks up and grins. She walks to the glass.
No more lies?
No more lies.
And with that promise, Sawyer reaches out, his arm sinking through the glass, taking Allison's hand and pulling her straight through, both holding the other's gaze for a moment until more men appear at the end of the hall, opening fire. With the whip of Sawyer's hand, the bullets disperse into smoke and ash, the guards' guns dissolving and the men flying smack into the wall behind. Sawyer leans against the window. This crap has taken a lot out of him.
You're straining yourself. Come, I'll handle the rest.
They take off down the hallway. Interior Airbase Bunker, lab night. Karen loads a strong tranq pistol as Richie appears in the doorway.
They're out.
Fine work, Admiral.
She jacks the gun slide.
Listen, if it comes to it, I'm putting him down. Is that understood?
Understood.
She follows him out. Interior Airbase Bunker, maze of hallways, night. Sawyer and Allison sprint down a long hallway, an intersecting T corridor at the end. Allison stops Sawyer.
They're coming.
She nudges Sawyer into a small storage inlet as a group of armed guards appear at the hallway and...
Stop!
Allison leaps straight up through the ceiling, only giving us a glimpse of her mid-transformation. As fighter jets speed, ceiling tiles and lights break and fall as what we assume is Allison rockets for them. We stay with Sawyer as creature Allison explodes from the ceiling and in a blur of movement wipes out the gaggle of shrieking guards. In the inlet, Sawyer sits still, trying to catch his breath, his energy just annihilated. A rush of clawed feet comes from the hallway, then stops.
Sawyer?
Sawyer looks up, Allison in human form. She pulls him up through a maze of hallways minutes later. Sawyer is struggling more and more to keep up.
I think I can make an exit. I still have a little left in me.
Save your strength. Your system's beginning to crash. Besides, I smell fresh air.
Allison and Sawyer peek around a corner, down an unfortunately long, solid concrete corridor. The bunker's exit at the end. Along with Officer Tom, a dozen rifles and a highly trained killer behind each of them. There's no cover, no alternative route, no hope.
Stay put.
Long hallway. Allison rounds the corner at full sprint, transforming into the creature.
Fire!
Rapid fire fills the air, creature Allison rampaging through it all, wall jumping, claws tearing into the floor, bullets having little more effect than gnats. Allison plows into the man, slashing Tom, then crushing and smashing her through the rest in 4 seconds flat. Sawyer jogs carefully down the hallway, observing all the dead and distorted bodies, saddened by it. Up ahead, creature Allison is perched on a control room window, beating for the safety glass with insane force, slowly crushing it as a pants-pissing soldier cowers inside. She finally smashes in a hole, slithering through, preparing to end the man.
Allison!
Creature Allison looks up at Sawyer, Sawyer giving her the "don't ruthlessly murder that man" look. The man whimpers as Allison lets out a quiet, cackling snarl, teeth dripping saliva right by his face.
Sir, please open the door.
The guard finally hits the control, a blast door opening to reveal a tunnel to the surface. With the flick of his wrist, Allison taps the man's head on the desk, knocking him out, then follows Sawyer out as she transforms back into human form. Along the mess of bodies left behind, one stirs. It's Tom, seen only from the collarbone up, holding a hand to his neck as blood gushes through his fingers.
Admiral, the subject. It's made it to surface.
Interior Airbase Bunker, other hallway, night, same. Richie marching with Karen.
And the other target?
I don't
know what that thing's skin is made of, but it's fucking strong.
Affirmative, soldier.
Richie heads off in another direction.
Where are you going?
Exterior Airbase Bunker entrance night. As Sawyer and Allison burst outside, 8 giant machine guns arm in front of them. A beat. Allison shoves Sawyer back inside, and the men fire! Allison leaps for them, morphing, heavy caliber weapons nailing their marks hundreds at a time. Allison screeching, but with a different tune. These guns actually hurt her. On Sawyer crouching for cover, bullets ricocheting inside in the tunnel. Outside, in a matter of seconds, Allison obliterates the man, grabbing, snapping, tail whipping, and then all is quiet. Interior Airbase Bunker, weapons room, night. Richie storms into the weapons room, snatching a monstrous 50 sniper rifle. Exterior Airbase Bunker entrance night. Sawyer exits the bunker, finding human Allison bleeding from cuts and scrapes, looking a little weak.
Are you okay?
Yes. Those were much bigger guns.
More troops can be heard yelling from the distance. Sawyer and Allison run. Interior Airbase Bunker entrance night, same. Richie passes his group of slaughtered men. He sees dead Officer Tom, revealing a better look at his horrendous slashes, straight through his Kevlar armor. Exterior Airbase Bunker night. An army jeep speeds through the base, Sawyer suddenly running in front of the headlights. The driver slams the brakes, jumping out, gun up. On the ground! On the ground! From nowhere, creature Allison snatches the poor bastard up and flings him 100 yards into the darkness. Sawyer climbs in the passenger side and finds human Allison hitting the gas. Bunker entrance. Richie and Karen step outside and the Jeep takes off. Richie aiming the sniper rifle. Pow! Army Jeep. Crash! A bullet passes through both the front seat windows a mere centimeter from Sawyer and Allison's noses. On Richie, angrily watching the Jeep escape out of sight.
All surface personnel, targets are headed off base. I want every living man on them, and get my damn blade spinning.
Exterior, interior, town, Army, Jeep, night. The Jeep explodes through the base checkpoint and onto the road, a gang of Humvee headlights not far behind. Moments later, Sawyer and Allison fly past the 76 station, the Jeep heading out into the prairies, total darkness around, only headlights behind and the heavens above. Soon joined by the flash of Humvees, air-cooled 7.62 millimeter machine guns, bullets slam into the road around the Jeep. Pow! A taillight bursts.
Sawyer, please take the wheel.
Sawyer nervously scoots over as Allison climbs right out of the broken window. On the roof, human Allison leaps for the closest Humvee. First Humvee. Creature Allison landing on the hood, blasting a claw through the windshield, throwing the driver away. The Humvee behind opens fire on Allison, ruthlessly filling their own comrades with rounds as the vehicle swerves off the road, and Allison springs to the second Humvee, landing on the gunner tower, forcing the machine gun to tilt down. The gunner's arm jammed in. Brrr, bullets fill the front compartment, blood painting the windshield. Allison leaps off into the tall grass lining the road. On Sawyer, glancing in his rear view, watching the chaos. The last two Humvees still gaining. Third Humvee, driving with the spotlight, frantically searching for the monster. From afar, we see grass parting at 80 miles an hour, something rushing for the Humvee.
What the hell is it?
I don't know.
And then, like an alien bull, Allison bursts from the grass, T-boning the Humvee. The vehicle rolls into the prairie, centripetal force flinging its occupants onto the last Humvee, floors it ahead, the sound of claws beating. Pavement rises as Allison rushes past, beelining her target, overtaking the inadequate man-made machine, and we're on the fourth Humvee. Time slows as Allison rockets through the back window, grabbing the front occupants with their claws and the backseat soldier with their tail. Crashing through the windshield and into the road ahead, crushing the two soldiers' heads as she lands on the asphalt, her tail releasing the other, who's run over by a ghost-driven Humvee as it soars into the prairie. Allison takes off and heads for the Jeep. Interior Army Jeep night. A thud on the roof. Human Allison climbing inside with a smirk. Sawyer smiles back. A few headlights in the distance behind, but no way in hell they're catching up now. It seems they've escaped. No words are needed as they continue on, though in a glow of the Jeep dash, Allison's hand moves to Sawyer's. Sawyer takes it, holding it tight, until zip! A bullet rips through the roof, straight through the windshield, and into the hood, through the engine block. Smoke and oil spew from the wound. Exterior, interior, Black Hawk helicopter, night, same. Richie aims from a hovering Black Hawk chopper, .5 cal in hand, Karen at his side. He takes aim again. Interior Army Jeep night. The disabled Jeep comes to a stop.
Sawyer, you must take them down.
But they'll die.
Their eyes meet.
Sawyer.
Zip! Blood spatters the windshield. Allison slumping to the dash.
Allison!
Allison doesn't move. Sawyer drags her out the door. Exterior Prairie Road continuous. Taking cover at the side of the Jeep from the chopper. On the other side, the pursuing Humvees arrive, flooding the scene with blinding lights and grumbling engines. Sawyer sits holding Allison in his arms, a catastrophic wound in her chest. If she had human anatomy, her heart's gone. Her breaths are short and quick. Panicked eyes looking up at Sawyer. She can't speak.
Allison, stay here. Stay with me.
Bullets hit the Jeep. Warning shots.
Stop! Just stop it!
Sawyer, you're trapped.
Sawyer tries healing Allison, but it isn't working.
Come on. Please.
He tries again. Brrrr, he's weak and stressed. Can't concentrate. Sawyer's near tears, hyperventilating, sweat pouring. He carefully puts Allison down and walks out to face the small army, defenseless.
I said on the ground, Sawyer. This is your final warning.
Why are you doing this?
Brat-dat-dat-dat-dat. Bullets at Sawyer's feet.
Stop!
Frustration is growing, anger building. Brat-dat-dat-dat. Sawyer grabs his head. The world is becoming too much. From the helicopter, Karen watches Sawyer refusing to comply, her face consumed with regrettable resolve. Richie looks to her.
I can take him alive.
No, he's come too far. Just end this mess.
Richie shows the smallest hint of conflict, but it doesn't stop him for aiming right for Sawyer's head. And as a round explodes from the barrel, Army Jeep, every muscle in Sawyer's body contracts, electricity flowing through his entire being. He screams at the top of his lungs.
Just stop!
Boom! A pressure wave explodes from Sawyer's body. Lights and windows shattering, fire erupting from the gas tanks. Soldiers are leveled, experiencing instant aneurysms, blood pouring from their ears and noses, eyes rolling to the deepest parts of their sockets. On the helicopter, every single electronic in the fuel stage fires. It's back and erupting into flames, spinning out of control. Karen and Richie holding on for dear life as Earth approaches. Army Jeep. Sawyer collapses to his knees as every last ounce of energy drains from his body. Boom! The Black Hawk crashes into the Humvee riot. As the chaos settles, Sawyer just sits on his knees, staring at what he's done, lit only by the glow of the fiery wreckage. Men lie with eyes open, nothing but white sclera visible, blood leaking from every orifice, all dead. Sawyer doesn't seem regretful, just saddened by the loss. Then a quiet cough from the Jeep. Sawyer nearly falls from fatigue as he goes to Allison. He holds her, putting a hand over her wound.
You have to hold on. I can fix it now. I can fix this.
He tries to heal her again and again, but it's useless.
Come on, Allison. Just hang on.
Their eyes hold on each other. Allison's half closed, looking as if she wants to say something, but can't. And then she exhales her final breath. And she's gone, her human hand relaxing, transforming into that of alien form. Sawyer can do nothing but sit there in the dark, holding his only friend, an 8-foot-tall alien creature. Tears quietly stream. Everything and everyone in his life is gone. Forever. The scene is so quiet. Only a breeze blowing the prairie grass and the soft crackling of fire. And then, the silence is broken. The Jeep's radio suddenly turns on, jumping from station to station with interference. The destroyed Humvees follow suit. A few intact headlights flickering on and off until finally, an incredibly loud, brassy alien noise from nowhere, and yet from everywhere, startling the life out of Sawyer. And with it, everything goes dark once again, silent, just the wind and crackling fires. And then, Sawyer slowly looks up. The stars blacked out for a 3-mile radius. Something massive is floating thousands of feet in the sky. It's incomprehensibly black, impossible to distinguish from the space between stars at its border. And the most unsettling thing of all, it's completely silent. Sawyer sits, incapacitated, confused, scared, exhausted, and heartbroken, and then a beam of blazing blue light shoots down onto Sawyer and Allison, a rush of noise, Sawyer holding Allison tight, and then it's gone. Sawyer looking around as Allison suddenly gasps, morphing as she sits up. She's alive! A tiny instinctive growl escaping, eyes darting as she gets her bearings.
Allison.
He hugs her. Allison hugs him back, eyes still on the guard. Then she looks to the blackness above, soon understanding.
How? What's going on? What is that thing?
Allison helps Sawyer to his feet, and with that coy smile,
My friends.
a beat. Then a powerful beam of light shoots down 200 feet off in the fields. Sawyer shielding his eyes, Allison unaffected. The light is gone as soon as it came. Sawyer looks back to the black prairie, and as his eyes slowly readjust to the dark, we realize there are several tall, slender, humanoid visitors standing in the distance, barely visible, too far and too dark to see without better than 20/20. And that's what makes them just scary as hell. Once again, all turns ominously silent, just the breeze.
Come, Sawyer.
She takes Sawyer's hand and pulls him for the figures.
Allison, wait. I don't want to go.
Allison stares lovingly at him.
I know you're frightened, but there's no need to be, I promise.
I'm not afraid. Look at these people, Allison. Look at the things they do. You say everyone has their purpose. Well, maybe they're mine. What if I was meant to end up here because this world needs me? This is my home. It's where I belong, and it's where I need to stay.
Allison looks at him, and it's a difficult look to read. Then she slowly makes her way through the grass for the figures, turning into little more than a shadow, that shadow morphing into what we can only assume is her primal form. As she reaches the figures, Sawyer can just make out a series of clickings over the wind, and then it stops. Allison slowly returns, transforming back to human. After a long beat,
You're sure this is what you want?
Yes. Allison, stay with me.
Allison looks into his eyes, then to the visitors. The figures remain standing motionless, dark and eerie. Allison's eyes stay locked, as if communicating telepathically. Finally, Allison walks past Sawyer, studying the dead soldiers, Karen and Richie lying near the burning chopper with eyes rolled.
I can't be with you, Sawyer. My purpose is only to protect you.
She comes back to him, wishes it could be different, and looking at him with a heavy heart.
Don't worry. They'll take care of everything.
She gives him a gentle, loving look, glancing back to the visitors, and then up. Sawyer joins her gaze as a blinding light fires directly down into his eyes and smashed to white. Over white, a voice slowly fades in, echoing in the distance.
Sawyer. Sawyer, honey.
Cut to exterior farmhouse day. Sawyer stands on the porch, an absolutely gorgeous day with puffy white clouds, a blue sky and green everywhere.
Sawyer.
Karen stands by Sawyer's truck, the bed packed with what looks to be the entirety of Sawyer's belongings. Sawyer heads down the porch steps.
Are you alright?
Yeah. It's just
Sawyer looks around, confused almost.
Just what?
A beat.
I'm gonna miss this place is all.
He smiles, heading to his mother.
Well, good. Maybe you won't forget to come back once in a while then.
You know I won't.
It's just hard to believe, my boy, going to college. I'm gonna miss you so much.
I'll miss you too.
He gives her a hug, then gets in his truck.
Hey, I'm proud of you, Saw.
Thanks, Mom.
Karen would cry if she weren't such a tough country woman.
Alright, get on out of here before I keep you here forever.
Sawyer grins and starts the truck.
Love you.
Love you too.
And with that, Karen watches her son drive away, heading on down the long country road. Interior Ford pickup truck day. Sawyer drives past the 76 station, Richie wiping his oily hands on the rag as he exits the garage. A busted Army Humvee inside. He gives a wave to Sawyer, a big smile on his face. Sawyer happily returns it, driving on past. Exterior Prairie Road day. Sawyer's truck drives down the beautiful prairie road, then the fields awash in sunshine and wildflowers. And we dissolve to Interior Lecture Hall. Night. A plethora of complex equations fill every board of an entire lecture hall. It practically looks like an alien language. Super, 6 months later. Two dumbfounded men in suits stare blankly at a board.
You did this.
We find Sawyer in jeans and a t-shirt. He's probably been working under his truck. We find Sawyer in jeans and a t-shirt he's probably been working under his truck in. A proud professor beside him.
Yes, sir.
And this is only a taste of his theories.
You're telling us there's more to this.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, sir. There were only 6 boards in here.
The men are speechless.
But you're a first year, correct? From Rumsfeld, Colorado? It's just impossible.
Oh, I can do a lot of things people think are impossible.
The men are on the tips of their toes.
Like change the timing chain of an F-Series combine harvester in 3 hours flat.
Off their looks.
Just a joke. Look, what I mean is I didn't invent anything new. It was all right there in front of us. It's just sometimes people from different backgrounds, well, we may see things a little differently or, try looking under a new rock. And a lot of that times all you need is and a lot of times that's all you need to find the universe's secrets.
A beat. The mentally shallow businessmen stare at him. Okay.
Yes. Well, we're going to have a talk with our partners, have our guys review your work, etc., but I can assure you, you'll be hearing from us very soon.
They gather their things, taking one last look at the board as they leave.
You are a godsend, Sawyer. I mean it. A true prodigy. Sawyer, I think you just might change the world.
Sawyer smiles. It's what he's wanted to hear his whole life.
I mean, your work will have companies pouring money down the department's throat for years to come. Who knows the kind of technologies we'll be patenting? Big things, Sawyer. We're going to do very big things with you at MIT.
A beat as he goes to the board, staring in marvel. Sawyer's smile faltering with the final self-invested moment. Exterior MIT campus night. Sawyer walks out into a freezing Boston winter's night. He makes his way into a busy street, hailing down a cab. A woman beside him gabs on her phone, waving for a cab as well. Sawyer steps inside, offering his.
After you, ma'am.
The girl takes his offer, but doesn't seem to even notice Sawyer, much less thank him. The cab takes off. Nearby, a couple of teens snicker, mocking Sawyer with an "after you, ma'am." Sawyer forces a sad smile, trying to be a good sport, but as he turns away, his smile slowly fades. He decides to walk home, snow flurries beginning to fall around him. Exterior Boston streets, night. The snow whips at Sawyer's face as he pulls off his scarf, his intelligent eyes focusing ahead. Sawyer's point of view. It's the most beautiful vision we've ever witnessed. The world is an infinitely intricate mosaic of basic elements and particles, every snowflake with a before image, predicting its deceptively chaotic path, with every human projecting an aura, like seeing into their very souls. Sawyer continues walking. This is normal to him. Exterior apartment building night. Someone's point of view. From across the street, someone watches Sawyer arrive to his building, punching in a door code. Sawyer senses their eyes and looks across the street, but only to find an empty alley. He forgets about it and heads inside. Interior 8th floor apartment night. Sawyer eats a final bite of a potato, putting his dirty dishes in the sink. As he turns out the light, he looks into the window, going to take a look outside. A couple of laughs as they walk down the snowy street below. Sawyer's eyes longing for the same. He looks up, seeing only a few stars over the light pollution. Then a scuffle from the other room. Dining room. Sawyer rushes in, a window wide open, snow blowing in. He hurries over to close it, left a bit ruffled as he looks around the room. And then he sees it. On the table sits a bottle of chocolate milk. Sawyer picks it up, studying it. It seems peculiar to him, foreign and with no significance. He walks to the window, looking out into the night. Exterior adjacent building ledge, 8th floor, night, same. Across the way, human Allison is crouched on the ledge of a dark crevice between buildings, feet bare in the snow, hair wet and nose red, but she isn't cold. She stares at Sawyer with such intensity and yearning, desperation almost.
Remember. Please remember.
But she can only watch as Sawyer pulls the curtain closed. A sadness fills her eyes, but her face remains determined. We pan off her, sinking back into the black crevice as a heavy huff of breath appears in the freezing air. And then a dark figure scurries past into the shadows, with nothing more than a tiny growl and the whip of a tail. Fade to black.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, that was Sawyer by Austin Hart. Thank you so much for tuning in. But don't leave. We're going to take a quick break and use the restroom and get some water. But we're going to have Austin Hart, who wrote this amazing script, on the phone with us in 5 or 10. So stick around. We'll see you soon. And yeah, don't go anywhere. Woo!
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Josh.
Yes, this is Josh. How's it going?
Hi, how's it going? This is Austin.
Hey, Austin. How's it going? The crew's on a break right now. We'll probably start up in again, maybe like 5 minutes. And Jeff will bring you in.
Okay, I can barely hear you.
Is that better?
A little bit.
All right.
Sorry, I'm turning my volume up. Okay. All right, you there?
Yeah, how's this?
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Okay,
Great.
cool. Yeah, so just to review, the crew's taking a little bit of a break. They'll be back in the room in about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then after that, Jeff will bring the show back in. Actually, Jeff's back in the studio
Hear me?
now. Yeah, Jeff. Austin's on the line. Can you hear Jeff, Austin?
No?
Let me try it now. Hey, Austin, can
Oh,
you hear
wait,
me?
there. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. If you don't mind standing by, we'll probably be back all together in the room in 5 minutes. Did you get a chance to check out the show?
Oh, yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was great.
Great, I'm glad to hear. Well, we're really excited to talk to you. Hang out for 5. We'll be back here in a minute, but just stay on the line if that works.
All right, that's perfect.
Thanks. For those of you tuning in, watching the live stream, thank you for being here. You can take a break as well.
Austin, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, we're about to go on, okay? I'm going to count
Okay,
Jeff
great.
in, and then he'll take it from there.
All right.
Well, guys, as promised, we're back, and we've got Austin on the line, who wrote this amazing, wonderful feature, Sawyer. Austin, can you hear us?
Yep, sure can.
Oh, man, we're so glad to have you. Gosh, reading this script out loud was even a more emotional, kind of cathartic experience for me, even than reading it silently. So we just want to thank you first for writing such a beautiful, like, kind of timeless script. Like, it was really, really great for us to get to read it in studio. Did you get a chance to check out our read?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was awesome. You guys were incredible. Let me just say up front.
We were worried. We were like, it has such a small town feel, so we're like, do we do accents? We know it's like a Colorado thing, but hopefully you like the Southern accent.
But it's funny because when I heard, especially when I heard Roxy's, I was like, oh god, they're gonna like think I have that accent or something when I saw it.
No, definitely not. That was my way of saying I don't know how to do a Midwestern. So Southern is the best thing I can do.
No, it was great. It was all great.
You're from Indiana, right, Austin?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
cool. I'm not too far. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, so I can connect to the
awesome.
Midwest thing. Yeah. I want to talk about this script because it's so. What I like about it is it has kind of something really, really incredibly unique, but also something that feels kind of universal and timeless and almost throwback. Can you talk about your main inspirations? Just how did this come to you? Has this kind of narrative always been something that you've sort of enjoyed, or is this something new for you?
Well, it's kind of funny because, I mean, how it came to me. Usually, you know, I think like a lot of people, I'll get ideas from movies or articles or whatever. But for Sawyer, I was literally sitting on the couch trying to think of ideas, and it never happens like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it started small, just kind of like the basic thinking of there's this, you know, alien doesn't know he's an alien, and the government's coming to get him. And it wasn't until like a little bit later that the kind of, I don't know, I like to think of it kind of like the Truman Show aspect of it kind of came in. And yeah, I mean, that's when, I mean, this is all in the span of like a day, that kind of got me excited about this sort of idea. And I put it away for like a year, didn't work on it until just about a month or two before the nickel. But yeah, as far as has this stuff always interested me? I mean, I write a lot of sci-fi, and I always like to kind of put like some, I don't know, I wouldn't call it like Spielberg-esque, but like, you know, like heart and fun with the action. But yeah, so I write a lot of stuff that's similar to this, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a writer, so you're probably humble, and I know you feel weird saying it's like Spielbergian, but we do. I mean, at least I do. Like, that's what I love about it, is it's something totally fresh, and I haven't seen this narrative before, but like the emotional evocation and the feelings of the script really harken back to that like kind of coming of age feel, which is really cool. You've had 2 features recognized by the Nickel from this year, right?
Yeah, one it's funny. It's actually, the other one was only made it to a quarter finalist this year, but it's been a semi-finalist, like a older draft was a semi-finalist before. But yeah, I mean, I had that one and Sawyer in it this year.
Was that also a sci-fi feature?
No, that one's actually, it's kind of a drama thriller, I guess.
Okay, cool. That's so amazing to me that you can bounce back between genres. Do you... I know we're talking about Sawyer, but a lot of writers listen to this show, and what do you think is the essence that really makes a great feature? Like, why do you think the Academy recognized your voice as a writer in 2 completely separate genres? Does that question make sense?
Oh, yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to have all the basic stuff down, obviously. You know, you need to know structure, pacing, all that. And that just comes from writing and reading scripts and watching movies. But I don't know. I think, especially with the nickel, I was a little bit surprised that Sawyer got as far as it did, because I feel like, and this is not anything against the nickel, you know, like I love the nickel, but they kind of go for scripts that are very, very much, I don't know, character-based and stuff. So I think the Academy and people like them are really looking for scripts that aren't just even like written great, like the words on the page, but you know, they're about something, and they're about characters that, you know, people like and can relate to.
Well, sorry, do you mind if I jump in?
Yeah, please.
Hey, Austin, this is Andrew. I read Sawyer, and well, thanks, first of all. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. My question is going back to kind of what you were just talking about, what you said earlier on with basing it off the Truman Show and kind of having this alien idea. What's so cool about this is that you really love the characters as well as the stories. So my question is when did you decide to bring in this character of Allison, and how did you... There's something about her just being in the script that makes you feel taken care of as an audience member and as a cast member. So how did you like develop her and bring her in?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she, like I said, from like in the very first few hours, even I was thinking about this, like Sawyer was there and she was there, and it probably just started off not even thinking about her as like what her character was, but just kind of, you know, needing kind of these dual forces kind of coming after the protagonist. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I kind of include, not all the time, but like often, like a little bit of romance, I guess, in my script. It just, you know, it helps me connect more, and I hope, you know, readers connect more to it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't really have a set way of bringing characters in. They just kind of, you know, and it takes time, you know, they'll pop into your head and they slowly develop, you know, but she probably, to be honest, started more as like a need plot-wise, and then became something more, I suppose.
Well, I think this is really important what you're getting at, because it kind of ties to what you said before of you're used to the Nickel selecting scripts that feature very character-driven, maybe like indie-feeling dramedies or something like that. But what's important to note about this script is it has shades of that. Like Andrew was just describing how Allison is this really multidimensional character, and I think you're underselling your script by saying it's a conventional sci-fi feature, because it's the things like Sawyer's coming of age and Allison's like similar journey of like realizing what her presence means on Earth that make this could have been a generic thriller, but it's not at all because of those decisions. So we applaud you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
I have a question. This is a fangirl question. Do Sawyer and Allison end up together?
I don't know. I can't say. Maybe there'll have to be a Sawyer 2 or something.
Because this is a good point that you just made, because honestly, I see sequel coming from this. Like, I'm not done with this script, and I need you to not be done with this script either. It almost read like a 2-hour pilot to me, like one of those setting us up for a universe kind of things. Have you thought about expanding this to either a miniseries or to having a sequel?
Well, it's really funny you said that, because here's the thing. I don't watch a lot of TV. I can't commit to it. And so I hadn't really thought about it until recently when I was watching your other 2 shows you did of the pilots. And I was like, for some reason it got me thinking. I'm like, hey, like, could this thing be a pilot? And I mean, I don't know. Like, I can see how maybe I could do that. But one, like, I haven't thought about it enough. But also, I worry that once like the jig is up and you know it's like this you know, it's like this fraud, this town is fake, like I don't know, I worry that mystery would be gone, and I don't know, like, to answer your question, I don't know. I think it could be, but I don't know if it would run for like be able to run for multiple seasons or not.
Well, if you want my 2 cents, which you didn't ask for, but apparently I'm going to give you anyway, I think that the mystery of the town is only a small portion of what was intriguing about the script, and I think that the relationship between Sawyer and Allison is so strong. I mean, there were some moments where you guys were reading it, which, by the way, you did an amazing job, but I really, like, I put my hand over my heart. It felt heartbreaking, but also just adorable, and I think that just them trying to rekindle and her trying to keep him grounded and get him back to where she knows he can be and all of those things, that is a character script. And that is why the Nickel did recognize it.
Yeah, Sawyer in particular as a character is like devastatingly sad.
Yeah,
I want to keep watching. Like, I want his victory.
I mean, I when you were dying, I like almost was. I was like starting to tear up, and I was like, I'm gonna look like the biggest jackass if I cry in this table read right now. Like, that guy's trying way too hard. But one thing that James Cameron says about all of his movies is that every single movie he does is about a love story, and I think that that's what's so strong about this. Is not only do you watch these people develop and really discover who they are, but in discovering who they are, they discover that they're in love with each other, and I think that that's like something we can all relate to as we get older. I just think that, I mean, I understand what you're saying about losing discovery from the town, but I think the most intriguing thing is the discovery of who they are themselves and who they are together, if that makes sense.
Additionally,
Yeah, totally.
like, I'm so intrigued by their backstory, and like that's something we don't necessarily need to explore either. Like, I do think this does work beautifully as a feature, but it does kind of whet your palate to want more. And how were you inspired by this? At first it feels like kind of a government conspiracy drama, which it is, but this whole alien backstory, can you talk a bit about why you made that choice and maybe how it contributes to the narrative?
I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm kind of a sci-fi geek, so like, you know, aliens are just like kind of my thing. I probably have like 4 scripts that center around aliens, but
Can we read them?
yeah, I mean, if you want. But as far as, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
It might have been kind of a vague question, but just like, did you know, like, it's cool to me how this script feels at first like a government conspiracy thriller, and then this whole alien thing really doesn't reveal itself until well into the second act. Maybe this is a better question. Why did you wait to reveal that?
Yeah, I guess for me, it was just more fun. Like I said, I feel like the mystery, they always say, you know, like, keep the reader wanting to, like, you know, wants to know what's on the next page. And I mean, I always put a lot of mystery stuff in my writing, but for some reason I really focused on the story revolving around the mystery here. And so like I said, I guess I was very much immediately inspired by The Truman Show, and I just felt like that's where a lot of, you know, like, there's only so much you can do with kind of the action and the character. I thought that, I don't know, I thought having a lot of mystery in it, just with this in particular story, kind of, I don't know, I just felt like it fit for this story.
Well, we agree.
I asked the same question last week, and I think I'm probably just going to ask it every week unless people tell me not to. After hearing it, I'm assuming this is the first time you've ever heard it read? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Was there anything that like stood out to you, things you want to change, things that you really loved, or things that did or didn't work specifically, or were you just like, I'm so badass, this is awesome?
Yeah, I was totally badass. No, like, I think the biggest thing, I mean, I was actually sitting here like taking some notes down, but I think if anything, it's possibly dialogue, because, you know, like, I try to say it out loud and stuff, but, like, you know, you can only do so much with that. It's nice to see kind of like what stuff is, like, you know, you as poor actors have to say. Like, it might look okay on the page, but when, like, you know, someone actually has to try to, like, get a clunky piece of dialogue out, it's really, like, noticeable. So I think that was probably the best thing about actually hearing it read out loud.
Well, I don't think the dialogue's clunky at all, Austin. I know what you mean. It's funny.
Us, yeah.
It's
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit obsessive with the writing.
No, we would hope as the writer of the script you would be, but it is interesting as a writer, sometimes hearing it, you do notice there are differences on the page and differences spoken. But honestly, that could also owe to our performances as well. There's so much.
No, you guys were great.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Developing a feature, you realize how many pieces there are from script to final product. That being said, have you thought at all about potential directors or actors that you might want to see in this work?
Acting, it crossed my mind. They might be too old, but I really like Ty Sheridan and what's his last name? Logan Lerman or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They've crossed my mind before for Sawyer. As far as Allison, I don't know. I don't usually picture like specific actors personality-wise when I'm writing, but sometimes I'll picture a face. And for Allison, I kept seeing Chloe Grace Moretz a lot.
She'd be great.
I really like her a lot. So
it's almost like you picture a younger Jennifer Lawrence too, or she's maybe about the right age. I just feel like she brings such an interesting. She can be that simultaneously vague but also specific that I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
As far as also with Allison, I don't know if you guys have by any chance seen Tomorrowland with George Clooney. You're not missing anything really. If you haven't, but there was the little girl that, if you have seen it, she played this little android girl, and depending on like if or when Sawyer ever got made, like if she was old enough, I think she would be a great Allison, because Allison kind of has that like that slightly robotic, but the girl was able to she eventually brought some emotion to it. I think her name's like Rafferty. It's like a very odd name, Rafferty Cassidy, I want to say.
I keep seeing the lady that plays Pamela Landy in the Bourne movies is Karen Jane. I can't remember her last name. Seymour. No, she's also like the mom in The Notebook, but she's like got this sweet Southern voice, but she's so intense and like so brutal that I could just. That's the whole time I was watching Rox do it. I was like, that is who she is.
I was thinking of Mary Steinenberg for Karen. She was in the movie with Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks, Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's what I kept seeing for Karen. I don't know why. She might be too old now.
I'm sure you've seen Midnight Special. Or no?
Ooh, no.
Oh, you should.
Have.
It's such a good. Have you seen any of Jeff Nichols' stuff?
Oh, wait. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of like some action movie. Yeah, I have actually seen. I love Jeff Nichols. He's why? Who are you thinking?
I'm just thinking I'd love to see him direct this. I don't know if you thought about that at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you thought about that? I mean, I just feel like he would work with this material so masterfully.
Yeah. I mean, all right, here's the thing. I got to preface this with the fact that, I'm not naive or unaware or stupid, but eventually, like the reason I got into film is because eventually I'd like to be directing.
Cool.
So, I know that's a huge mountain to climb even if you break in as a writer, but so I kind of write, I guess, from a directing standpoint, so I don't really think about directors as much as like casting. But that being said, I'm not an idiot. If Jeff Nichols wanted to direct this thing, I'd be freaking jumping up and down. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Just a quick. Sorry, Timothy here. Played Richie. Just a quick compliment on your end. The action in this whole entire script was really amazing. But the blood and gore descriptions that you kind of put into that, I was kind of living for. As being like a horror fan, I could really see what you were trying to accomplish without saying something the same way over and over again, like, oh, she killed him, blood everywhere. Like, I feel like your words of choice were exceptional for the dialogue that you were trying to go for.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about the balance between action and character, because I think that's the thing that wrecks so many kind of action-driven features. What do you think is the secret to a successful balance between character, drama, and action in a feature like this?
Well, not to like sound too analytical, but a lot of times when I write, like I'll outline to the T before I even start writing. I think I actually like have a freaking like a scene by scene by scene where I kind of visually balance out, kind of more character related scenes and more action scenes. So that's part of it. I mean, part of it too is just I've read a lot of scripts and you just start to like pick up stuff. So I think it's just important to to come at it both from like an analytical stance and to just see how other people did it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about the ending because it's so, there's a sense of ambiguity and sadness, and why that ending? Had you played with other endings at all, or were you decided on this from the start?
Honestly, it's pretty much decided, you know, from the start.
Mm-hmm.
I hate sad endings, but I also don't like happy endings. I like it to be more, I don't know, reflective of real life, I guess, where, you know, it's like you said, it's ambiguous, and so yeah, it pretty much from the start, that's what I had in mind.
Cool.
Quick question on the ending as well, just for Richie and Karen's character toward the end of the script. What was it about that whole, you know, like it almost never happened, like it was like this whole thing was a dream, after that final interaction with Allison and Sawyer, that made you decide to write it like that? Like, are there any other answers that you could give us in terms of like, was there like does he have like this memory altering like power that Sawyer has, or did the alien race kind of like reverse time and figure it out that way? Can you give us any answers on that part?
Yeah, I like to kind of keep it mysterious, but I guess in my mind, like it's just, you know, not to like, I don't even think I would try to explain everything in detail, but in my mind it's just like these other visitors, you know, they're so advanced that, I mean, basically all they would have to do in my mind is really just to revive these people and then erase their memories kind of thing. And so I guess if you're looking like for like details of how they did it, I don't know. To be honest, I just chalk it up to they're really smart. But, yeah.
They're aliens.
So do you think that...
It's funny. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that they're playing him at the end, though? Like, the Richie and Karen characters, are they now playing Sawyer again, or do they really not remember and they're on...
I mean, I would go with no. Like, they have been, the aliens have erased their memory, put it like, they're not playing anymore. They've been, you know, wired to think, have maybe like false memories or something like that, and, you know, they're, no playing anymore.
So it's like the life that Sawyer always wanted is what he gets at the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then why do you want him to remember?
Because he's not living to his potential.
For myself.
So mean. He's finally happy. Leave him alone.
No, my heart though.
It's such a beautiful ending, and it's such a beautiful script, Austin. I want to thank you so much for letting us bring it to life here in studio. I hope we didn't butcher it, but
no, you guys were amazing.
No, thanks. Do you have any questions for us before we go?
Actually, yeah. I mean, this is not really about Sawyer, but, you know, like, having watched you guys, I was kind of curious if you have time, you could just give me, like, a brief down low on, like, what each of you are, like, inspiring to be. Like, are you just some of the actors, producers, writers? What is it you guys want to do long term?
Yeah, I mean, quickly, like,
I mean, I'm sorry, you don't have to tell me, like, the whole life story, but I'm just really curious. I like people, you know, who love this business as much as me. I like to know what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a writer, so that's kind of what inspired me to create the show. Is I love reading good scripts, and there's not enough of them that are read. So I think the long game goal would be for me to be also writing and directing, maybe more like premium cable dramedy TV, like the stuff you see on HBO. But I'm in the same game you are, Austin.
Oh, cool.
Andrew, I live and breathe for acting. Like, this is what gets me off, if you will. I was so excited to be a part of this show because it's so hard to find that bridge between hosting and acting is like what I'm classically trained in, and that's what I really want to do, even though I love hosting. So this show has been an amazing opportunity, and also the opportunity to read scripts that no one else has ever seen or done before is what I think is most exciting, because there's nothing there that hinders your performance. There's no performance that's already happened or who's gonna play it that you worry about. So it's like, it's just real and it's authentic and it's original. And so I would like to act, but until then, I'm just gonna keep doing this show.
I'm Haley. I was reading Allison. I am also an actor, and I've recently been dabbling in writing and producing just like short form comedy stuff. But I like acting in all kinds of other genres since you get to, broaden you can do anything you want as an actor. I mean, in a perfect world, but that's me.
Everything except pay the bills.
Yeah, really.
Anything you want besides eat. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lex. I was Dr. Vincent and Christopher and the rest. It's very similar to Andrew. I am an actor. That's where my training is. That's where my heart is. Can't just come out here and be an actor for the most part, unfortunately. So I started learning how to do every other job. I'm writing. I'm now helping produce. I'm directing. And my friends and I are essentially creating our own content and hiring ourselves because we all have very similar goals, but it seems silly to wait around for somebody to give you permission to work. So this was great. So I had a ball today. This was awesome.
This is Timothy Red for Richie. I'm in the same boat as Andrew and Lex, classically trained from New York, came out here to be an actor. And then when Jeff was doing the series and he reached out to everybody, I was like, I have to be part of this. This is an amazing opportunity. And I think just as an actor, getting to read different scripts and being a different character every single week really it pushes you to be something or fall out of the stereotypical typecast that you would necessarily be, because where else would I play a 45-year-old badass, like I said earlier before we started filming. And I just love, and I'll say it to the end of the show hopefully, which is not very soon, that this is like mind-blowing. I love that we're doing this.
That's nice.
I'm Roxy. Hi. And I used to say when people asked me what I wanted to do, I would say take over the world. And then our very own Kevin Undergaro told me that the last person to say that was Hitler, so I should stop phrasing it like that.
Oh, God.
So I guess I want to do it all. I just wrote a pilot. It's my first one. I think it's pretty good. I'm excited about it. I'm an actress. I definitely am a host, apparently. I've been doing it for 7 years. It was nothing that I ever thought I would do, but it's been really great. And I'm a producer here at this network and all over the place. So all those things.
Yeah. Well, Austin, we love that we're talking about ourselves now because we want to do one thing. Actors love doing that. But I thank you for being so gracious and humble with us, and thank you for this beautiful, beautiful script. I can't wait to see you really directing your own stuff soon. I feel very strongly you will be. So, in the meantime, where can people find you, especially creative executives who want to buy your script?
I guess it's easiest just with Twitter or something. Yep. I'm at AustinHart22. That's probably a pretty easy way to get to me. So
cool, great. Well, Austin, I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. But I can't wait to see what you do, and who knows, we might be reading more of your stuff even on this show. So we thank you so much, and I think with that we'll let you go.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Austin.
I think with that, guys, that was our first feature on the Unproduced Table Read. Again, that was Sawyer by Austin Hart, who we just had on the phone with us. You can find his handles just where he said. Austin Hart 22 is, I believe. In the meantime, guys, my name is Jeff Graham. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're actually dark next week, but we'll be back the week after with another feature. It's a ridiculous comedy called The United States of Fucking Awesome, and it's like drunk history meets 1776. It's amazing. And we'll have the writers here in studio. It's also a nickel-recognized script, so we're really excited. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon. In terms of the rest of you guys, where can they find you?
Hey, everybody, I'm Andrew Guy. You can find me at Andrew Guy on Twitter and Instagram, and every Wednesday here on the Popcorn Talk Network on Action Movie Anatomy at 12:30.
Hey, I'm Haley O'Connor on Twitter at Haley O'Connor, and you can find me also on the Popcorn Talk Network every Sunday afternoon for Sci-Fi Weekly.
I'm Lex Michael, all over social media at the Lex Michael. Thank you guys so much for letting me read with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lex. Hey, everybody, you can find me on all social media platforms at I am Timothy Mike. Also on the AfterBuzz TV network on Monday nights for Quantico, Thursday nights for Grey's Anatomy.
I'm Roxy Stryer. You can find me at Roxy Stryer, and that's how you'll know where you can find me.
Guys, thanks again so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the rest of the Anatomy of a Movie staff, we would like to thank you for listening and subscribing to the show. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email or tweet us. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been Anatomy of a Movie.